woman. They have the choice to say, no, I don't want to do OnlyFans. No, they don't want to do it. But you want to know why they do it? It's because they're sluts. They don't have anything other to do. They don't have anything else to do. Like, you see mad women in Miami over there. You want to know why they call it the city of hoes? It's because there's so many hoes there. They got hoes in Miami. They got more hoes in goddamn Louisiana. They got hoes everywhere. They got hoes everywhere. So it's not something. It's not even about the good woman out there. There's good women out there, but it's less than what it was before. And that is the entire question. Why should I be a man in a situation where a girl could be potentially a hoe? I am not doing that. There's no man in this world is going to pay for no girl's date if they're a hoe.
Men should always pick up the bill.
No, I would say in certain situations where they're my girl, then yes. If they're not my girl, then it's 50-50. I don't care. I don't care about no girl. I'm not paying for no random girl.
Feminist.
No,
I'm not. You can call me the OG feminist.
50-50.
How?
Yeah, I'm the, no, because even
50-50 is a
How?
feminist point.
Tom Likas, I'll tell you, Tom Likas used to say he was the OG feminist. So he would tell a bitch that she has to pay half. I did it all the fucking time without fucking shame. And the thing is, though, is I didn't have a problem nailing these women. So I don't know. You can say, well, you know, it's not a good idea. Well, it worked for me. I mean, that's all I really care about is how it worked for me.
Yeah, you weren't going to bury them. They were recreational use only, Pepe.
I mean, some of them, were probably could have been wife material, but I was a dick, and, you know, would just, like, fuck them and just kind of like, I don't really want to fucking hang out with you. I want to hang out with my friends. You know, go fuck yourself. But
again, like you said, Pepe, these women, like, it's funny. I know a guy that he's engaged to this girl. She had 3 kids from 3 different men.
no.
She's like 45, and he has no kids. And he has a pretty decent job. I think he's like an engineer or something. And he starts dating this girl, and she's all posting online on Instagram. Oh, my man loves me. He spoils me. He gives me everything I want. Because the thing is with him is he doesn't want to be like 60 years old living with his dog. So,
I would way rather have that. Like, what the fuck?
exactly. Guys date down. Women don't.
I mean, if that was my son trying to marry a 45-year-old with three kids, let alone with 3 different dads, I mean, you that's when you take him out. You say, son, let's go out to the barn, and you shoot him.
Yeah,
You just put him out of his existence.
Pepe,
What?
you don't have a son.
If I did, that's exactly what would fucking happen.
Because you know what's going to happen with him is, no, I think this bitch was married, but she always used to think, oh, my ex was so toxic. Yeah, because he wouldn't probably buy her a Mercedes because she saw her friend get one on Instagram. I mean,
The thing is, though, that whole toxic relationship is like, shit is so fucking stupid. You can see right through it. So basically, toxic people, not always, but more likely than not, when you meet a woman that says, like, oh, I was in a toxic relationship, chances are the one before that was toxic, and so was the one before that. And the reality is that people with toxic traits generally get in relationships with other toxic people. Like, this bitch is burnt goods. Like, she's no good. I mean, she has a personality flaw. And so, you know, once again, you just save drama. You save the drama and don't date these women. And you don't pay for their fucking kids. You don't do any of that shit.
Pepe, don't split the date bill.
I would do whatever the fuck I want. I'm a grown-ass man.
you know,
You see, it's one thing if I ask like a woman out, like, then I'll kind of be like, well, it's like my treats. Like, if I ask a friend if he wants to go out to eat, like a guy friend, it's like, oh, you know, I'll sometimes pay for it. But if it's like a fucking, just some bitch, like, oftentimes they'd be like, oh, do you want to hang out sometime? Like, I'm definitely not paying for their shit.
And for an example, I would say that multiple girls expect like money from like the first date. So like for an example. I have to think about that question.
why do you think they created Pepe the Passport shows because these women in these other countries are much more submissive and are actually real women that will cook and clean for you.
Well, I think it's twofold. I think number one, a lot of these. I mean, getting like a mail order bride has always been like a way that white men or men in general could like, they could get like an Asian woman or something that, or a Russian woman that was like more attractive than what they would have gotten in the United States. I just think it's them. Some of it I think is disgusting. I saw like a 40-something-year-old guy, and he paid the mother to marry her daughter, who's like an attractive like 19-year-old, and I'm thinking like, this guy's a creep.
Yeah, that's fucked up.
What do you think?
Pepe, if they're like, you know, like 40 and they're going for something like 35 or something like that, yeah, that's creepy. It's like 45 going for a 19-year-old, like Leonardo DiCaprio.
Wait, but what do you think of people like Andrew Tate saying it's okay to date girls who's like 19 and above age if you're 40?
I'd say this, like, if a 19-year-old who's down to fuck a 40-something-year-old is gonna fuck a 40-something-year-old, whether it's you or not. So, I mean, I don't really care. I mean, I when I was 17, I fucked a 42-year-old woman. Mm-hmm. Like, I didn't, you know, it wasn't traumatizing to me.
Something-year-old woman raped you.
No, it wasn't rape. It was just like fucking a 16-year-old, you know, that would have been like around my age. Except for she gave me my fuck, you know, she did kind of give me the creep. She wanted, like, she's like, I want to be in a relationship with you. And it's like, what the fuck? Her daughter was my age. But I survived rape as a juvenile, I guess.
Jaden, you have a very, very annoying background noise.
Yeah, sorry.
And you're eating? No. Mute up now.
Yes, mother.
I mean, I don't know. Like, this bitch up at top, in the link above, and then the China woman that was like, you know, saying like, there's like seriously a shortage of attractive guys. Like, neither of these bitches would be seen with an attractive guy. Like, I don't even understand why the fuck these bitches are like even bringing it up. Like, when would they ever be seen with like some tall, handsome stud? They would not be fucking with these frumpy bitches. And I think it more points towards like what's wrong with women and social media. A lot of these stupid sluts like to do, you know, what do you call it, Snapchat filters, and you think you're like, and you think you're hot shit.
Think about it, too. It's like the more sexual partners a woman has, the less likely she is to be married. And like the ones that say, "Oh, I just want to settle down."
Yeah, they ride the cock carousel for 30 fucking years, and it's like, I deserve a good man. I want to, you know, no, like fuck you and your dirty, used up pussy.
Yeah, or the boss bitch that all of a sudden she gets married at like 38. And then has a kid like the next year, and then is divorced like 3 years later.
Yeah, I would never go for one of
No, not the boss bitch is the worst.
That is so weird, like on Tinder, seeing, like, there's one, she's attractive, she's about my age, and she's like working upper management, something like that, and like, that, it's like, that's her little flex. And I'm just thinking, like, dude, you're like a dumb bitch. Like, you're using that. First of all, if a guy was to say that on his Tinder profile, you'd be saying that's fucking cheesy. She kind of thinks it's like a flex, like as if guys really give a fuck about this dumb bitch.
Pepe, do you watch that YouTube channel, like Catching a Gold Digger? The funny shit that those guys do, it's hilarious.
I have. I mean, I've seen. I could tell a lot of them were choreographed or like fake.
Yeah, but he has like the Toyota Corolla, and the girl doesn't want to pay attention. He's like, I'm just kidding. That's my real car. It's my Ferrari.
Yeah, I've seen those. Thing is, though, is like I've only known a handful of people that, or I would say, were like, they weren't billionaires, but you know, they had money in the hundreds of millions, or their family did, and like they went like way out of their way to not let people know who they were or look like they have money. They were like super. It was always on their mind, like, you know, who's gonna try to them or ask them for money. But never problems I had.
Just like Taylor Swift, Pepe. Pepe. I mean, how many sexual partners has she had? Like 15?
Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's different though. It's just like, pick between being like a celebrity, like the most popular pop singer for years, and being a fucking mom at home. Like, there's like exceptions to every rule, so I wouldn't really get on her case about it. She's a big exception to the rule. But I don't know.
Yeah, this chicken is tasting good.
But I don't know. I mean, I see some of you sluts are down in the audience. You're just like listening and just be like, oh my god, that's not me. You know, fuck this asshole. Who does he think he is? But I don't know.
Fuck you, sluts.
If any of you guys want to come up here and bitch and say like, oh my god, there is a shortage of attractive men, tell me why so many of you average, frumpy-looking whores are somehow like, I don't know, worth dating. I'd love to hear it.
And you know, some of these bitches nowadays think that they deserve like a top 1% man. Like, all of them are normal ass bitches. They come from normal ass homes. How the fuck do they even deserve these niggas who work their entire life off? And when these niggas talk about, yo, go and make me a sandwich, they want to argue back like, bitch, I worked hard and you're going to come here and tell me what the fuck to do? No, you live in my house. You live in my house. You follow fucking what the fuck I say.
I mean, yeah, it's... But I mean, I have a feeling these women, the only good thing they're going to get out of life, I think, though, is that when they're young, they sometimes get fucked by... But you generally have to be better than average. Like, you're attractive, but not, like, ideal. And some of these, like, high-value men, as they like to put it, will, like, fuck them, you know? But purely recreational use. And... you know, but they're not going to end up with them in the day. So the one good thing they can look back to is like the glory days of a guy who was the high school quarterback. He almost could, if it wasn't for that one game, he could have just, maybe he would have gone to a D1 school for college. Maybe he would have made it into the big leagues. You know, these women will get to look back and say, oh, if only I would have worked out with him, then I would be living such a luxurious life with that tall stud. But the reality is that it doesn't work out. But they do get to dream about the time how they almost got it, and they got to get fucked by those Chads, and that's basically the same.
Look at all these fucking feminists in the fucking chat talking shit. Like,
No, like it's the feminazis. Like the ones that are most fucked up, Pep, are like, you read those articles about the kids like finding out that their mom's on like OnlyFans and committing suicide because they're getting made fun of like so badly at school.
I mean, could you imagine, like, bro, I busted the biggest fucking nut looking at your mom's tits, bro. Like, you'd be like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
that shit would scar a kid.
Yeah, that would be weird shit.
Exactly.
and you know, I find it funny.
Pepe,
What?
bring people on the stage. I think people have their hands up.
I did. I invited everybody that had their hand up.
Yeah, they always want to talk shit in the chat, but they don't want to say nothing up in here.
Chat warriors, Jake.
But it is men's fault at the end of the days. We're biologically hardwired to, unfortunately, want to, like, if we
Have
can't get what
multiple women.
we want, like, at any given point in time, we'll do a substitute.
About feminist woman, and then you guys want 50-50. So I don't know. Pick your fucking battles.
Okay, we're gonna go there, right? Okay, so let me explain something to you. Do you think feminists, a lot of feminists have the responsibility to adhere to what they are supposed to do? For an example, feminists want to have the same careers as men. They want to do everything as a man. They want to do all these shit that they don't even want to do generally. So for a fact, I know these fucking women are lying. They don't want equality. They want equality for themselves. Everyone here can agree with me because this shit is funny as shit. All these women nowadays just want equality for themselves, but not to adhere to the responsibility as the same as a man. This is why I am so done with goddamn women in 2025, because all of them come from keyboard warrior parents, or they're literally just keyboard warriors in general. Some of these women nowadays are on... What? You say what?
Trust me.
Do what?
Just mod me for a second. I'll drop. Just mod me.
You don't have to drop. Just. I'll let you drop.
No, I had to take out the trash. That John Kitover is Edmund. And
Yeah,
he
I
is,
know who he is.
he literally, dude, he's streaming the room to his Instagram dancing naked. And I feel like I've had to explain this to people 100 times to boot him. He sits in the audience and streams rooms, recording it to his Instagram, dancing naked. He is a sick in the head freak. If you see him,
He's
boot him, please.
still streaming with one of those anons down there. You can't kick the anons out.
Well, I'll just say this. Well,
I
you can
have
say
his
it,
alt
Stephen. I don't.
blocked. So what I'm saying is, even though someone might not be able to appear, they still can't come in if they're blocked by a mod. That's one of the only things that's good.
Well,
All right, now that I can act,
You can
now that
stay
I can
up here.
actually-
You're fine.
that's now that I can actually talk. Okay, first off, if it wasn't recording, my reply, and now I can actually say it. When you say, "Oh my God, I'm 25 and I'm so done with women," I almost got off the mic and said, "Okay, well, enjoy men," because what I've been hearing is absolutely disgusting. Okay, if you're on an app and you're saying that you're just on there to just hook up, and then you're complaining about the quality of women, hello? Okay, the worst thing that happens in society, and this is for both genders, they don't do any vetting. They don't do an ounce of vetting. They just match, and they just either jump right into a date. There's no phone calls, barely anything, just surface level. Then you realize, oh my God, this is a total disaster. And then they want to try and get out of paying when they should have just done vetting ahead of time. I can tell you right here, right now, anytime that I have ever been on those apps, and I haven't been in a while, all you have to do is pick up the phone. 1 or 2 phone calls before you go out, you 90% confidence you can figure out, as long as you ask the right questions, whether it's worth your time if you're actually trying to date. And people don't do that. And so what happens is you get to the date, you realize there's 0 there, and then you want to try and get out of your responsibility even though you asked for the date. I don't care if it was absolutely complete mismatch. Being a man is paying it and moving on, and hopefully learning a lesson and not ending up at a date where you didn't do any vetting. And before you
No,
come
fuck
off the
that
mic,
shit. No, fuck that shit.
Yeah, no. I know. You hate the idea of responsibility.
No. It's not about even responsibility. It's about the
Sounds
fact.
like
No.
you need to fix your bicycle
What?
tire, dude.
No, fuck that shit.
Fix whatever
No,
the hell
fuck
noise
that
is
shit.
coming off your mic, dude. You're blowing up our ears with the weird clicking noise.
It's the rain. But fuck that shit.
Well, then get out of the rain.
No, but what I'm talking about is different to what men should do. Men should be prepared first before going on a date, making sure that the person they're on a date with isn't just using them for money. Stefan, I know you're not a dumbass. When you go on a date with somebody, the first thing you should do is make sure at least they are attracted to you. Is that right, Stefan?
Well, first off, it's Steven, and it doesn't
Oh,
really
Steven,
matter.
whatever.
Yeah, well, it's not whatever. It's here's the thing. Hopefully you're listening because you might be able to learn something. I'm going to tell you right here. First off, also your profile, the only thing on it that it says is atheist. And you think you're going to find a tradition? You think you're going to find a traditional value woman?
It doesn't fucking matter. It doesn't fucking matter. It doesn't fucking matter. It does not fucking matter. Because here's the thing. No, it doesn't. Because here's the thing. I'm not asking for a relation. I'm asking to just have sex. That's the entire fucking point. I don't give a fuck about a relationship
shut up,
because
dude. Why are you complaining about women if you're just using them?
it
Shame on you.
doesn't matter.
Well, I just want to say this.
You just literally use women, but then you're gonna sit here and take 20 minutes to complain about women?
I do want
That's
to.
sick in the head, dude.
I kind of want to deflect to something else. And so the other problem with women is that they say they want one thing, but they don't. And so, you know how a lot of women tend to be more liberal than guys. It's no surprise there. Well, dude, you can go on like Reddit. There's one called like fucking fascist. There's a bunch of them, but like they're like ashamed of their embarrassment, but they like literally talk about how they want to have really rough sex with some MAGA Chad, and because in a way liberal men repulse them, or they're repulsed by liberal men, and so it's I don't know, like how, I don't even know what like when I hear like the women that like in these videos like I was posting. I mean, I think they're being very disingenuous. I think why is that 53-year-old woman that was whining and crying earlier? Why is she in the situation she's in? Now I can say why I'm in a situation I'm in. I didn't really vet. I was in a relationship with a crazy bitch for 8 years, and that says something about me. At least I realize it. So I'm not like saying like, oh, if only the right woman. Like I make my own choices. But Steven, I have to push back. You said make phone calls. Dude, I do not want to be stuck on a phone with a woman for like twice. Like that fucking sucks. Like I could be doing something else.
Okay, so you can't invest in a phone call, but you actually think you're going to find the woman that's meant for the rest of your life.
Well,
Do you understand
I'm not even
how
looking.
backwards that sounds?
I'm not even looking. So I guess maybe
Well,
that's why.
okay. So then this is why this conversation is so disjointed. Because some people in the chat and on stage are talking about women to date long term, and some are talking about one and done. The one and done should absolutely shut the hell up about women if that's all they're using them for.
Well, actually,
No judgment.
Well,
if that's all you want to do, if that's all you want to do, and as long as they consent, go ham. But who in the hell do you think you are to criticize women's depth when all you do is see them as a release?
Well, actually, I don't think that we're talking about as in a basis of like just fucking them and then dipping. What I think we're talking about.
That's what you just said.
You want a sexual release doll that sticks around.
Yeah, that's what I said. But I'm not saying that I want that long term. I just said that I want that now. The difference here is that we're talking about the shortage of attractive. Oh no, we're talking about the basis of women nowadays, and we're just giving our opinions on it. We're not actually.
You don't
telling
get the
everyone.
right to have an opinion.
How so?
If you're not treating a woman as someone to date, then you do not get to hold them to a standard as if you are dating, and that's vice versa for women to men too. If it's not established that this is something that is more than just a meetup, then you can't put expectations on either side. And the fact that you keep trying to put expectations on them when you have zero interest in anything meaningful, that's on you.
Well, I'm not saying that it's not meaningful to be in a relationship. What I'm saying is that in America itself, there's not that much good women to date.
You're just dead wrong.
I'm not
You're
saying
dead
every
wrong. You're
single-
not. You just
I'm not
said
saying-
that
no,
you
no, no,
haven't
no, no,
been
no.
looking for women to date.
Whoa,
So you don't.
Wait, hold on. I said I'm only looking to have sex. Second, I never said
Then
I'm
why are
only
you
looking-
commenting on the dating?
I never.
pool?
Wait. Hold on. Don't interrupt me. I was talking.
I
But
can
what
do
I'm
whatever I want. I'm a mod.
Yo, Pepe, make me a mod real quick. Make me a mod real quick.
I mean, I've known him for a while.
Yeah, this is
You
fucking
have 20
annoying.
followers. You're an atheist. You
Yeah,
just
of
treat
course.
women like me, and you're gonna talk to me that way?
Yes, I am.
Yeah. Good luck with that.
I mean, let's be for real. All the time, you can say that I can't make an opinion based on the women of today because I'm not dating. But that doesn't
Correct.
necessarily mean any fucking thing. Just because someone doesn't have, like, I don't even think anybody has to have an opinion or even do the exact thing that they're doing to have an opinion. Just like an atheist or an agnostic atheist could talk about Christianity, even though they're not religious. You can't use that same thing on me. No,
Have you heard of a word called humility?
No.
Have you heard of a word Oh, you haven't? Well, that makes sense. Also, please fix your broken tricycle. It's blowing our eardrums out.
Well, Jaden,
Please.
I have a question because
Whatever that weird clicking noise is, dude, is so annoying. Like, it's
Yeah,
probably
it's the
worse than
rain.
the chirping.
It's the rain. I'm not gonna
Jaden,
lie.
I have some concern with what you were saying. Now, we do know that there is another epidemic. I know that, well, we're talking about the epidemic of
Yeah.
not many attractive males, but there's also an epidemic of absentee fathers in the black community. And
Yeah.
they do tend to emphasize the bump in the hay, or roll in the hay, as they say it in the country. I'm not from the country. But they, and then they just take off and, like basically they go after the pussy, but they're not like really like good father or husband material.
Jaden, are you mentally ill? If you're not talking, why do you keep unmuting yourself? Your background noise is really, really fucking annoying.
Yeah, if I keep muting myself, if I'm muting myself, that means I'm trying to make the noise less for your ears.
You keep unmuting yourself when someone is talking, and then muting, unmuting, muting, unmuting, muting. Stop it.
Then what the fuck do you want me to do? Because if I have my fucking my shit on, then you're
Okay,
gonna.
I'll fix it. You're welcome, everybody. Mountain, how are you? What's your opinion? Hello? Mountain time?
Yeah,
Hello?
sorry, my phone was in my pocket. I was at the park with my dog. Is there a shortage of attractive men? So I'm gay. I'm not gay, so I guess to answer that, I don't think it's that, man. I think that, so I was reading a deal, and I've never really verified this, but it was saying that almost 80% of younger men are choosing to be single nowadays in America. And, I came from a pretty rough relationship myself. I did choose to date a little bit younger than me. I mean, I'm 35. I was 31 when I was dating a 20-year-old, and that was probably a mistake, she was a lot younger than me, but I just noticed, man, that probably on both sides, we have Tinder, we have Chatterbait, we have all that, we have all this dopamine and stuff like that seems to be affecting us. I think that maybe on both sides, but a lot of us, maybe it's just easier for people to walk away. It's easier than ever now to walk away from relationships, not put up with anything. A lot of times the woman or the man is unwilling to put up with too much. They're willing to walk away. And normally you're going to have problems in relationships here and there. That's a normal thing. People are taught to kind of walk away from that. Also, sometimes women I've noticed they have this expectation, a lot of them. Many men do this too, but a lot of the women, they believe that they only need to bring themselves to the table and that's it. No cooking, no nothing. Like, I cooked, when I had my girlfriend. I always cooked. I always cleaned and stuff. It was a little bit bullshit, Her expectation was mainly to be there, I think. But for hers, or a lot of women, I've noticed that with my relationships, that they want you to bring them happiness and peace and lift them up and everything. But them, they just have to exist, and that's good enough.
Then you need to walk away. Or you need to do better vetting so you don't get trapped in the first place.
Well,
It's actually, I know this might sound like a crazy concept, but to the guys who say, oh my God, I don't want to waste time with a couple phone calls, you'd be surprised how much you can learn ahead of time to where you won't make, a $100-$200 mistake for your first date. Oh my God, I had no idea such like this. We're totally opposite. Guess how you could have figured that out ahead of time? A phone call. It's not rocket science.
It's not a traditional, so I don't know about you guys, but I'm not the traditional type that goes out and and meets girls on like normally I meet my girlfriends at work or at like through a friend or something like that. Like I'm not actively going out on fucking dates and stuff like that, so I can learn about them and stuff. It's because that's all bullshit anyway. That's not how a lot of people do it anyway. Nowadays like that. she's gonna bullshit you, or he might bullshit her anyway if you go on a date. Tell me about yourself. Oh, okay. Well, now that I know that you're a complete fucking train wreck and then you have a lot of baggage, now I know that that doesn't work like that, bro. They're not going to give you complete transparency of what is going on in their life. It took me a while to realize that the girl that I was with she admitted she had lots of trauma and lots of bullshit, lots of emotional issues, things I didn't realize until I was kind of hooked by the pussy and by the emotions.
Yeah, but then the problem with the phone call is that what Steven doesn't understand is then maybe they'll think like, well, maybe he's not that much of a fucking gentleman. I shouldn't waste my time on this guy. So it fucks up my flow.
Wow. So you're admit this is incredible what I'm hearing. It's like guys, you're trying to put dating standards on women when you have no interest in actually dating them. Like you can't put expectations and standards on people.
What did you say?
You're not applying to yourself.
This is what
He just said that he
like.
just literally said that a phone call, the woman might find out that he actually is only skin deep. He just admitted it.
I mean, well, it's
Yeah,
like,
and the girl's doing the same fucking thing. She's deciding if she wants to deal with you. She's deciding.
Well, then
if
get
she
him on the
wants to
phone.
date. She's doing the same thing. And check this out, Steven. Most women have backup men too. Most men have friends, have fallback men, have men that are their friends if that doesn't work out. Most women have the same fucking thing, so they're gauging and they're deciding if they want to put up with that shit or deal with it, or if you're the right one, if you're the potential mate. But the truth is, most of these women have multiple men, or at least a few men, that they could fall back on. Or
that's why I like. I mean, Steven seems like a nice boy. Maybe parents would be like, "Oh, he's a nice young man who can marry my daughter." They probably wouldn't say that about me, but that we just operate differently. But I don't know. I say like I'm not going to torture myself on fucking phone calls. Like I don't. Like there's a reason. Like whatever rooms I'm in,
I'm not
mostly
giving
there's
this
other men.
advice to you because you're not looking for it.
Yeah.
My advice is to the people who are actually trying to find someone serious.
But I mean, that's two
bro,
like
it's not
two
the 50s
torturous
anymore,
fucking phone
Steven.
calls, pretending like I care about
Not
what the
the
fuck
50s
this
anymore.
woman's saying.
Let me explain something to you guys. Let me clue you in on a little secret here. Okay? I don't have washboard abs. I don't have a perfect situation where I'm swimming in hundreds of thousands of dollars. But you know what? In my entire life, I have never, ever had any issues with women. You want to know why? Because I know how to communicate. And there is so many women out there that are so desperate for a guy who can actually just have a basic conversation, let alone an advanced one, that if you can actually step up and learn how to talk, how to be genuine, I'm telling you, you're fine, you're good, you're set. You just have to actually choose to do it. And you guys are literally screaming to the heavens, I'm not going to talk to them. I'm not going to bother with any conversations. I'm not going to get to know them first. I'm just going to jump in and bada bing, bada boom. And it's just like, no. I'm telling you, women appreciate intelligence. Women appreciate humor. Women appreciate listening. And by the way, there is such a thing as being both, okay? You can date, and they also love to, they'll give you all the affection that you want. I'm just telling you, if you actually want something serious, you have to treat it seriously.
But honestly, at Mountain, it's not worth your time. I wouldn't. There's the chance of a woman being worth like settling with and listening to, or honestly, like
I've
just look
made it
at
up my entire life.
that is nice, but
2, 3, 4 up the scale. You want to know why? Because I actually have a head, a heart, and I actually talk, and I'm just normal.
Yeah, but
I'm not trying to use and abuse.
It sounds like you like women, okay? Whereas I think they're fun to have sex with, but then like the 99% of the time you're not having sex. They're a fucking they're just they're pain in the ass. Like why do you want to be with a woman? You have to like pretend like you like shit that they're doing, that they're saying. That's
Well, that's
they want
where the
all of this
vetting
reassurance
That's where
and
the
cuddling
vetting
and shit.
comes in. That's where the vetting comes in. Don't be with one that's annoying.
you know, find one that's nice. Find one that has a hobby. Find one that you know, has some depth to it.
That will leave me to fuck
But you
alone.
can't figure that out if you don't talk to him first.
I mean, yeah, if she can just like, you know, like, let me do my thing like almost all the time, that yeah, I could tolerate it.
Fair enough. All right, we have a woman on stage that everyone should be listening to big time. She's from the conservative X space world. My good friend, Allie Hopper. How are you?
I am excellent. Just settling back in, getting home from DC, and listening to this very interesting conversation.
Do you have any opinions on what you've heard?
Oh, I jumped in mid-conversation, so I'm just kind of listening to everything and kind of just taking a back seat right now.
Can I ask you two a question? There are these women that they befriended me, I don't know how, on like, I guess the more conservative part of X. And these women have, like, especially on the weekends, they have these spaces where they talk dirty and they invite men to come up, and they're just like very filthy middle-aged women.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Allie and Roy and Nancy and I know exactly who you're talking about.
I was like, for conservative women, you guys are really
They're not
raunchy.
Yeah. We. Oh my god! I know exactly who you're talking about, and I can just tell you they're major exceptions to the rule. They are very strange people, but you know.
It also matters
Very,
what time
very
of the day, Steven. I mean, everyone's on a different time zone. So when you're getting like Saturday night at 2 o'clock in the morning
Talking about
on the
the
East
trio.
Coast. Yeah.
He's literally talking. She can't
I've heard
make
some
this up.
spicy places outside of the trio, though. It depends on what time zone you're in and what day it is.
So I guess these ladies are. I figured you guys would know who I'm talking about, because they're special.
I never thought I'd hear them being referenced on Clubhouse, but here we are out in the wild. That is so crazy to me that their reputation has spread to another app that they're not even on.
Well, I'm just like, here.
Holy
Why did these guys like simp for these middle-aged women? Like, it's so weird.
They're thirsty.
I guess old women
Simps.
deserve fun too. I don't know.
Sims ruin this app, bro, sometimes, I swear.
No, I'm actually more mad at simps than I am women. Like, these OnlyFans girls would not
I am
exist
too.
if there wasn't perverts that were sending them a bunch of fucking money. And like I guess like the top creators can earn like, you know, like millions of dollars, and that is all because of simps that jerk off to their content. Like that, these people are so disgusting, and like it's just so pathetic. Like, why would you give your hard-earned money to these women? It's just so weird, and it's not like it's just sinful in a way, like all around. Like you're actually paying a woman for doing something bad, and you're wasting your money to do something bad while looking at her content. Like, it's just I don't know, I could think of so many other things I'd like to do with money that I've never paid for porn. Like, that is the dumbest thing in the world to me.
Yeah, pretty despicable. Let me ask you this: Are you gonna run this space for a while? Because I'll share it around, but I just was asking first.
Yeah, I'll keep it up.
Okay, hang on. Who's this Hamdar? Do you know?
No idea.
But I was going to say,
We're following each other, so talk to him before.
Yeah, we did talk. Yeah, thank you. Thanks. Hi, everyone. I would just, looking at the topic, I just simply want to say that there are no Mr. or Miss Perfect in the world. That's what I wanted to say about it. And I'm also kind of thinking that the expectations are getting high and high day by day. That's why, people are not finding the attractive men and women. One thing I'm always, having a hard time kind of understanding it's all. I mean, I don't mean to be disrespectful to any women or any girl here in the room, but it's why it's always about women's feeling, women's needs, women's, this, women's that. Has anybody ever thought about, like, has women ever think about what are man's feeling, what are men's need in a relationship, what are men's, like, desire in a relationship, how men or women can make kind of men happy in a relationship. They ever talk about, because I'm getting a sense of, like, it's all about, like, women needs that, women need this, women men should be doing this to women. Like, it's all about that kind of discussion, around the, here. But I'm just wondering, what is there anything that women can do to make men happy from the relationship perspective, so that this kind of discussion that Pepe just earlier had, like, it's just like one side of, like, do everything for women, but also man has a feeling, man has a, responsibility, man has a, all the above. So
Well, I think a woman would have to answer that. If Ali, maybe she's married and has more experience. I've never been married, but also the short answer for men is men are known for not talking about their feelings, and it's kind of seen as like weakness or like feminine to like really express your needs openly. So we just don't, it's something that it would come a lot, men would express what they want, or how they feel, like way less than women generally will.
I think that it comes down to each person, honestly. You find very selfish people and you find very giving people, both men and women. So it depends on the type of person you're attracting into your inner circle. Yeah, men aren't as vocal about their feelings, but if a woman is paying attention, they can see their mannerisms, they can see how they act, what they're doing, and if things change. But it takes someone that actually cares to observe that. But whether you're being a good friend or you're being a good partner, it just takes someone that actually gives a crap.
Men from Mars, women from Venus, and he was divorced 3 times, Leo.
But yeah, to answer your question, Pepe, I am married. I have been married for 12 years.
There we go. 12 more years than me.
Has to do with how digital we've become. I mean, if you look back, courting never goes out of fashion. I mean, talking on the phone, getting to know each other before you go on the dates. I mean, if you can't spend an hour with somebody, walking around or talking on the phone, then you probably shouldn't be on a date with them anyways.
Yeah,
and I think that's the biggest thing. We want everything. Instant gratification means we meet on the app. We text a few times because texting is easy. You don't have to have emotion in it. You set it up. Maybe you hit it off for an hour at dinner. You go, you jump into the sack, and then you're done with them.
Well, Brian, you bring up a good point. I mean, we used to just go out on dates and have fun, like things that we both enjoyed. We'd go shooting, we'd go, clay shooting, paintball, laser tag, doing fun things that both of us enjoy. And so, it doesn't have to just be, talking on the phone or whatever. You can actually just go out and say, hey, I actually enjoy, shooting. Do you want to go shooting? And we did that.
Good luck finding girls that want to do that.
I did.
Do you live in did you grow up in the country or something?
Nope.
Really?
Yeah, most of these want to just go get $900 manicures and $600 hair appointment.
Do those exist?
That's part of this digital
They
age.
do in Scottsdale. There's always been like a segment of women that exist in that world, but
Why do you guys bitch about what women do with their own money? To look
no,
at you
they
guys?
we expect guys to like pamper them. There's like here in Scottsdale, you have some women that are very gorgeous, and you have men that have a good bit of money to throw around, and there's going to be guys who will spoil them, I guess you can say. That's
But that's not
obviously
a
that's not the
date.
norm.
Yeah, that's not a date. Getting your hair and nails done. Like, I would never torture a guy by bringing him to one of my appointments. That is
Can
not
you
a date, and
imagine?
actually,
I don't
it's not even
want
fun.
them
No,
there.
no, I don't even.
want a guy next to me when I'm like at my salon. Like, no, go away.
Exactly, and my hair takes so long. I'm just half the time I don't even want to be sitting in that chair. Why would I drag a guy in to sit in a chair next to me when I don't want to be there? Unless there's like cocktails or something. I don't know. It's just that's not a date.
Well, and that's part of the digital thing too. Is that, you know, what's put in front of us all the time is what makes it gives people, you know, ideas. But you know, the reality of it is, pull yourself. If you want to get to know somebody, get away from the apps, get away from whatever you're doing, and just like Steven said, there's nothing wrong with picking up the phone and making a call. You know, you can feel a vibe through the phone. If you guys can't agree in the first couple of phone calls, then you probably aren't compatible. Because the reality is, no matter what, if it doesn't flow naturally, yeah, sex might happen, and you know, you might be able to get a hookup or two out of it, but you're not going to want to date. You're not going to want to put anything into it. And in reality, you know, that first date doesn't have to be monumentous. It's what happens is you set a false expectation. If you want to take her out to dinner, take her out to dinner. Don't take her out to something that sells $200 plates, but take her out to someplace decent, someplace you can have a conversation, and then from there you'll see how it goes. When you look each other in the eye is when you'll start to know if you guys are actually compatible. If you're not looking each other in the eyes while you're talking, then you're not going to make it anyways.
Hey Roy, when you're looking at each other in the eye, can there be like a bunch of margaritas in the middle?
Who cares what's in the middle?
I know we're taking
Eye contact.
together.
Eye contact. You can drink whatever
As long
you
as
want.
there's a big margarita with chips and salsa and queso, I am good to go.
Right, there you go. Put the big ass margarita on the table and have at it. But that conversation, if you're not looking each other in the eye and you're not responding to one another, like listening and then responding to what they say, or they're not doing it to you, then you're not connecting. I mean, that's just the reality of it. Sorry, but you know, I understand, you know, the instant gratification and quick sex is great, but the reality of it is that doesn't last. So nowadays, people try to get into bed. You know, there's no shame in jumping into bed on the first date. When I was younger, that was something that, if it happened, though I'm from a small town, the whole fucking town knew about it, first of all. But then that girl or that guy, that relationship didn't last. You know, the chances of it lasting when you hook up right away go down to about 5%. And that lasting doesn't mean for life, because that's the expectation of your relationship. That's why they always say to start small and build on it. So you do something small, a cup of coffee, meet for coffee, go for a walk, do something healthy, because if you can't do the healthy things together in the beginning, you're never going to do the healthy things together later on and enjoy it.
Roy, Roy, I want to push back, because you say it's not going to work. Why does it not work if you sleep on the first night? Is it because she turned out to be a hoe?
Well,
or is it because... But then if you didn't sleep with her on the first night, how do you know she wasn't still a hoe that would sleep with you?
Well, and that's the problem, is we live in a paranoid world, and also because sex, the culture right now is so sexual that it's hard. It's hard on both sides.
Do you think it's really more sexual today?
Oh, absolutely. I truly do.
Pepe,
Like,
you know
I-
why?
The data shows that young, like, okay, I'm in my 40s, like, I don't know, I understand there's a lot of drama with the younger people, especially because they grew up more or less online when it comes to dating and interactions. I don't know how much this is relevant to people my age and up, but if we can look at the data, like, men had, and I think women too, had way more sex in my generation, a whole fucking lot more statistically than this current generation.
Yeah, but at what age? At what age were they doing? Because, like I said,
From their teens up until 30.
I'm from a small town. Trust me. Where I came from, I mean, if a girl had sex before she was 17 and anybody found out about it, she was a slut. It's just the way it was.
But I went to a Catholic high school, and like I would say, at least half of the girls, lost it by 16. So this is, of course, a bigger city. So I don't know that.
I mean, I do think geographical or cultural is a problem. I think in the cities, it it can be a lot more demanding on the young women and the young men, and the expectation for sex is a
I
little
think
bit
you're
higher.
also half Roy's age, dude.
I'm 50, dude. He's in his 40s.
Wait, what?
I'm 50.
You're in your 40s, Pepe?
Yeah, you didn't know that?
Oh my god. No, I didn't know that at all.
So I do
he
think.
was, Steven?
Holy
Yeah,
cow.
I'm like a year and a half away from being 45.
Oh, wow, you just rocked my world. I've known you on this app for several years. I don't think it's ever come up.
Yeah, I
Holy
sound
cow.
young.
How old did you think he was?
Definitely in my
Wow. I thought he was in his 20s.
Oh, no. Really?
I swear to God. I'm being real. Why do you think I just said he was half Roy's age? I wasn't joking.
Steven, I always knew Pepe was not.
Oh my God! Wow! It just it totally blew my mind. Holy cow! Wow! Wow! Wee-wah.
Your pictures
Okay,
from
I want to do
4 years
something.
ago. His
Let me do a
pictures
clap.
from 4 years ago, Steven.
Yeah, I guess so. Oh well, maybe. Okay, I want to do a flash poll. Okay, and don't just say because now you know. Be honest. Be totally honest. Put a 1 in the chat if you've known of Pepe's age for more than a few months. So a few months, few years, whatever. Put a 2 in the chat if you just found out. I just want to get a feel for the rest of this room. Did everybody know that he was in his 40s? 1 if you knew, 2 if you didn't. 40s. Cast your votes in the chat. There's some old school clubhousers on here. I really want to see them vote. See, Callie didn't know. Callie, that was breaking
Well,
news.
I've only known Pepe for maybe like just this year. So just from other chats, just literally just this year, I knew he was kind of an old man. I mean, it's kind of obvious his views are kind of outdated and stuff like that. So yeah, of course he's an old
just a
man.
grumpy boomer.
Well, I don't know what outdated views are, but. Well, I guess I was the only one to know, or the whole
Wait,
rest
are you
of
in your
the room
30s,
fell
Steven?
asleep. Yeah.
Okay. It's probably the young boys that just sound young.
I mean,
And I'm immature too, to be honest.
To be fair, before I started doing face-to-face sessions with my therapist, right, like during the pandemic, I thought like she was like, I don't know, kind of my age or maybe just a bit older, or she sounded young. When I met her, I was like, oh my god, yeah. She was like, yeah, I'm 45. I was like, you're 45. You don't sound 45. So I think sounding is very different. Like, some people can sound old, they can sound young. I just think the fact of the matter is, you're in your 40s, which is okay. So you want to talk about the modern dating scene? I mean, yes, it's modern for you because you're in your 40s. Of course, it's modern for you. But for, I don't know, other people who are, teenagers, early 20s, late 20s, it's not exactly modern for them. It's just how it goes. So when you say modern, do you just mean not from your youth?
Modern meaning today, within let's say, let's say within, no, modern, I'm talking like within the last 5 years. Let's say from like this decade.
I mean, sure, I guess, but then like, I feel like.
But you don't even know what my position is. I don't even know what we're arguing.
Steven, this is happening all over the world.
Just about to ask you. I was just about to ask you, right? So what is your issue with modern dating? If you don't mind me asking.
Well, I didn't say I had an issue with it. In fact, what I was saying earlier was I was giving advice to men who seem to be going, that just don't have a clue what to do to navigate it. Look, can I finish my point? Thank you, dear. What I'm trying to say is there's a big difference between saying accurately that yes, there is a larger proportion of feminists out there in the overall woman pool. But to take that and extrapolate it out to say that dating's impossible, I wholly reject that. There are absolutely, positively, let me land, please. There are thank you. There are absolutely conservative women out there who appreciate old-fashioned gentlemen. In fact, a lot of them probably feel the exact same way that conservative men do, that they keep bumping into liberal men. And how you can solve this problem is vetting. It's called communication. And that's the advice that I gave earlier, the Cliff Notes version. Go ahead.
I think so. So that's very valid. However, vetting isn't always possible when it comes to dating in today's age.
What is it possible?
Vetting, right? And
It's not possible?
The problem is hookup culture. That's the problem.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, let me explain why. So me and my husband, right? Yeah, before we actually even like got jiggy with it, yeah, we were friends for like a year. I was at uni. I met him at uni. He was, came back to his semester. So cool. In that situation, yes, I was able to be friends with him. I was able to vet him for a longer period of time than usual when it comes down to dating, right? Of course, he came on to me, almost immediately. I was like, no, I want to do my education. Maybe when I'm almost finished, if you're still single, then maybe we can, see what happens, right? Cool, fine. But now we're married, right? However, generally speaking, in today's dating scene, sorry, but a lot of men don't want to waste a whole year talking to a woman and blah blah blah. They want to say, right. So I think that's.
And I criticize that.
Well,
let me finish that, yeah?
well, actually,
So I do agree with you. Yes, vetting is very important. However, right, women tend to, yes, they want to vet, right? They actually want to just date men. Women will go on a date with men for like 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 dates. However, the problem is, a lot of men say, this is like our 10th date, bro. Are you into me or not? Am I wasting my time or not? Right? Men don't want to allow women to take the time to understand. They want to get into it now, and as quick as possible. So I think so you're right in what you're saying. However, you as a man, you need to understand that your gender is the reason why women don't want to date as well.
well,
Yes, you're up next. You're on deck. Hang on. Un momento, por favor. Professor, you're speaking a touch fast for this humble Nebraskan.
Sorry.
I want to hear your perspective. Just wanted to ask if you wouldn't mind just pacing just a little bit. I'm trying to follow. Thank you. All right, go ahead.
well, actually, I saw a post from Andrew Tate, not an endorsement, just saw it, that said, "Why should men get married?" And it's a pretty interesting question in today's dating world. And I mean, the historical answer would be, number one, to have sex. But that was when women would wait. So it was like, you're not gonna, you know what I mean? If 80% of women are not gonna have sex with you, then you have to marry them. You know what I mean? In order to get there. But if the opposite is true, and 80% will, then they're like, men are just like, meh, all right. I'm gonna sit around and I don't need to. There's nothing rushing me.
I wouldn't.
And it's
But I don't even know
a
what
really good point.
I don't think it's a good point. Like, why does some fucking Muslim convert rapist made his money out teaching
I don't
young
care
boys
who
how
he
to
is.
sex traffic women?
I don't care who he is. I saw that
I
post.
get it.
I saw that
But it's
post.
like,
I'm not religious. So actually, as a Christian, how did this went out?
I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I made this room, okay? Because everybody knows I don't give a fuck about dating, any of that shit. I opened a room to be super fucking insulting. Everybody likes to come to my rooms when I call women sluts and bitches and say how they're worthless and do all that stuff. That's the only reason I made this room.
People in the room, not random people.
I was asking if any of the sluts in the audience can come up, these stupid whores can tell me why, you guys deserve like an attractive guy or some shit, but now we're a little bit more wholesome. And I was like, do you guys even want to change the topic even? It's like,
No, I was making the point that that's the problem with dating is that, you know, men don't have a reason to get married. When any girl that he's in view with for 3 months, you know, is going to give it up. Pretty much any girl. And so there's no rush for men, especially when, you know, guys and girls are moving in together. You know, it's like, why would you take the next step? The guy's getting everything.
Men are why. But BP men are smart because number one, yeah, they will say
Well, some people are addicted to
so
alcohol.
no, again, not all men obviously, but no, just obviously in terms of, I would still say not all men. Like again, it's not all men. I'm just saying men in general, just whatever. But again, if it's not applied, don't let it fly. I'm saying what you will find that some men do, or just men in general, whatever, will do, right? Yeah, is say, I don't like these women with high body counts. It's easy. Women who just go to the club and just fucking whatever.
That's everything on earth.
Yeah, sure. Right. So yes, I can generalize this, right? But then when they meet a woman, right, and say, oh, okay, cool. When they're ready to settle down and get married, oh my god, all these women are just whores. They just fuck anyone. All they want is money. But it's like, bro, that's literally how you've been dating for the past 10, 15 years by literally telling women, no, it's okay.
Not me.
Right? No, that's fine. Again, if it doesn't apply, let it fly. My point is that I'm a man, right? And I'll tell you.
You're talking about like Pepe and Nick and that woman.
No one in particular, darling. Please listen. Let's not make this personal. Jesus.
Well.
Anyways, I'm saying that like I get this whole thing, but then at the same time, it's like men are also contributing to this mundane scene.
Well, they are, but it's in a different way, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Well, let me finish my point is that the thing that's attacking men these days is the porn industry, where you've got 50% of American men having OnlyFans, and so women are actually competing against porn, and they don't even know it. Because, you know, really from a guy's perspective, if a girl's taking too long, I mean, maybe it's not exactly the same, but he can see 1,000 naked women tonight on his phone, you know, and so it's kind of like, well, is it worth, you know, the $150 taking her out, you know, all this time, you know what I mean? And maybe...
No, BP, that's very strange because
well, it's just true.
No, wait. It's strange because if a man's only reason for wanting to get married is so he can see a naked, then it's like, oh, what? Right? The whole purpose of getting married isn't just for sex. I mean, that's the issue.
Correct.
As well, right? Yeah? Because it meant that, okay, cool, well. It's not about companionship and loyalty and a woman who loves me, cares for me, and actually wants to build with me. It's about, hey, you know, has any man seen you naked? Like, bro, that's like the least of your worries when it comes to marriage, right? It's the least of your worries, right? For example, like, let's say a man marries a woman who, you know, used to work at Playboy, right? I don't know, cool. But is she loyal? Is she good with kids? You know, is she caring? Is she kind? Does she want to, you know, take care of you, whatever? Is she attentive? Right? If your only issue is, oh my god, yeah, but she was in Playboy, then again, your reasons for getting married are null and void. That's not the purpose of getting married, right? About whatever. So I think.
But
so go on.
Well, I was gonna say, but young men, I mean, maybe they're not always interested in getting married until they meet, you know, the right girl, right? So, and then that kind of, historically speaking, that's supposed to force their hand. It's supposed to be like, oh shoot, you know, this girl's awesome, you know, and you know, she's not having sex with me, so like, and because she wants to wait to get married, and so that forces them into that position of like, all right, well, I love her, I want to marry her, and of course I want to have sex with her. So that's historically the case, but now. The guys are being pulled, you know, through the porn industry. They're being pulled, you know, and their attention span's going down. They're not waiting as long, you know. They're like, because I can see 1,000 naked women tonight. You know what I mean? That's in their head. They're subconsciously thinking this, that they, you know, that they can do this tonight, you know, or I can spend, you know, 6 months, you know, 3 months. Spend all this money, all this time to maybe, you know what I mean, get to an intimate level with this girl. And so the porn industry is eroding. Yes, it is lust. The porn industry is eroding men, and women are kind of having to adapt to survive. That's sort of my long-term, or my total spiel.
Men actually adapting to surviving the situation, because again, women obviously they had feminism, they had autonomy and whatnot, and then what happened was they started to get even more choosy. Now women were choosy before, right? Modern women aren't the only ones who are materialistic. All women have been materialistic since the dawn of time, right? They want to date the one has the most resources so that their kids are also able to procreate and blah, 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 right? So this is not a new thing, right? Women have always wanted power, money, power, and respect. We're human too. Both men and women want money, power, and respect. We're not, a different species. We all want that, right? Now, obviously, when it comes down to, obviously now you have rules and regulations and rules and regulations, that's when now you have, love is above all else. That's funny.
Right. You're kind of going down the religion route, and that is true. I mean, if you have...
Stop. No. Stop. Because, I know. Sorry. Let me slow down. I'm so sorry, Stephen. You were right. I was speaking to you. Right, you're right. No, because a lot of these ideals were around before what we would call a lot of these Abrahamic religions, right? These have just been around since even before the agriculture.
Now we're going into religion and
No.
Everything goes through religion.
I didn't want to talk about hoes this bad. God damn.
Stop. No, right? I'm just saying, if you know, it's not about religion, right? This is just about human nature, right? Generally speaking, human nature, you want the best for yourself, you want the best for your kids, you want the best for your family, right? And how do you get the best? You associate yourself with the best. For women, you sleep with the best, right? You kind of serve the best. For men, right? Again, men are the original gold diggers, right? Because men would actually, go and marry other rich women, and because back then women couldn't really inherit anything, they would inherit the wealth. Right, so men were the original gold diggers. They will find a
Dude, it was families that dictated who married who. Generally, it was not the husband that was the gold digger.
Wait. Yes. However, that was again a transfer of wealth through the woman, because the woman couldn't inherit that wealth, right? Let's say you have a mother and a father and a daughter. She's the only child. She's the only one who can actually inherit that wealth. But legally, she can't inherit the wealth, right? If she goes unmarried, right, and they die, that wealth will just go to the state or whatever, right? So in order to preserve that wealth, you have to marry her off, right? So you make a kind of like a thing with like another family, say, you have a son, right? We have a mine, you have a refinery, so how about we marry our children together so that actually we can now...
Dude, I'm trying my best not to, I came in to have a super fucking offensive space that I really, truly cannot give two fucking shits about what women think about men. I really don't care. I don't care about dating.
Yeah, can I respond to this? I'm dying.
These man versus women rooms are so fucking annoying.
You just said women want
George,
power.
I don't need you to fucking chime in, okay? Jesus Christ.
You're just waffling now. You're just waffling.
Mute up, Professor.
You mute up, bitch.
Oh my God.
Who the fuck you? I don't know you.
Do you think I know you? You don't let anybody.
Okay, no, I don't want a cat fight on my stage. That's like,
Okay, guys.
I don't need my ears. My ears. Stop. Rape. Don't. So.
All right, rain down cat gifts.
I say something.
Auditor.
Women love to mythologize the things they find important.
I'd like to speak as well, if I'm allowed.
Go ahead, doctor. You haven't said anything.
I gotta jump, but good discussion, guys.
I think it's really
You're leaving already, VP? Holy cow.
I think when it's for real.
Gotta spend some time with the wife.
I think it's really helpful if people get on stage, if they kind of room, they look at the comments, they make sure people are not asking you to shut up or whatever. It's just common courtesy. But anyways, I think one of the interesting factors outside of evolutionary biology and evolutionary psychology is this notion that we are in a digital era, an attention economy, where beautiful women in particular are making fortunes because of sponsorships, because of OnlyFans, because of all kinds of reasons. And so you put this small percentage of women, you've platformed them, and men are only seeking largely this population, right? At least in their minds, many want trophy wives. So we unfortunately assess this from a perspective of looking at a skewed sample size, right? Like, this is not what is really normal, but this is the exposure we get. The most beautiful women get the most visibility, and they're running with it, and they're not good models. And I mean models in terms of models, a biopsychosocial model of a good human being, right? These are people who are often narcissistic, very difficult to be around. They create so many problems for men. Professor, can you put up every emoticon under the sun? It's distracting. Jesus Christ. I mean, I put up, we've been listening to your book for 4 hours. God damn. Wow.
Focus, man. Focus.
God damn.
Why the hell are you watching the screen when you're talking? Calm down.
Jesus Christ.
Don't watch the screen.
Maybe the moderator can put down this stupidity.
I hate to tell you this, but I'm a seasoned Clubhouse user, and I know my way around this space.
Okay, Professor, go on mute.
I'll let her talk.
Professor, go on mute.
I was on mute. He interrupted.
Oh my
I
God.
was literally on mute. I wasn't saying anything, bro. But I just put fucking emojis. That's it. And he was fucking, oh my God, sorry.
I think the professor has spent her piece. Why don't you open the mic?
Go ahead, say what you want.
Okay.
No, just not. I was speaking. Let me finish.
Oh my God.
The other guy left.
Wait, driver.
Can I go?
Oh shit.
Well, yeah, Homer asked, and you go next, Alan.
As you know, I've invested in dating apps for 10 years, and what has been described is just not accurate. There are plenty of men and women who have realistic standards, plenty of men and women who are dating people at the same SMV and finding success. So I find this room to be relentlessly and unrealistically negative.
And I've been trying to fix that.
I think it's funny.
What kind of fucking room did you think I was gonna... Do you think I was gonna open up a room like Kumbaya or some gay shit about men and women? Fuck that.
I think there are so many.
Get more out of your system, Pepe. Why don't you go on a little rant for a bit, and we'll all reset. Go ahead.
No, it's Alan's turn. He gets to go.
All right, Alan.
Hi, Stephen. Thank you.
Howdy.
All right. There are two things you must remember when it comes to dating, and you can take this to the grave. In my long experience listening to people talk about relationships. Number one, people find somebody they want to have sex with, and then hope to hell that they get along with them. That's how people choose mates. Everything else is BS. It's both men and women. It's I'd like to fuck that person, and then if they start doing it, it's well, gee, he picks his nose, but I guess I can live with that because I want to have sex with that person. The second is, when it comes to relationships, remember this rule. People always get what they want. I will repeat that. People always get what they want. And if you think in your mind, I'm not getting what I want, no, you're getting exactly what you want. You just got some issues that are preventing you from getting it. That's my input on this subject.
I think what that guy said was irrelevant because...
Shut up, Oksana. Nobody asked you what your fucked up opinion. Thank you. You're one of those people that have to comment
Most
on
male
everything.
celebrities are good
Thank
looking,
you
right?
very
Most
much.
male celebrities are good looking.
Oh my God.
Most
Let
male
other
celebrities are good looking. You
people
very
can
rarely
decide
find,
for
right, a majority of
themselves.
male celebrities who be
People
ugly.
can
So when
decide.
you were
Shut up,
saying,
bitch.
so when you
People
were
can
saying
decide
that,
for
oh, women just get to
themselves.
be pretty,
I'm going to keep
men get to
talking.
be handsome,
People
and
can
they also get to
decide
be
for
successful, right?
themselves
Darling,
what they think.
I
They
think
don't need your commentary.
I can go on forever.
They
Honestly,
don't
forever,
need,
right?
yeah, so
Either
can
way,
I.
right? Yeah. So,
People
for example,
don't
think
need
about
your
that mixed race guy, right?
Another
with the
lying
green eyes,
British
literally got arrested,
knows
right?
Okay, let's hear what Oksana's.
And his mugshot went viral. His
Thank
mugshot
you.
went
Viral,
right?
yeah.
His mugshot went
Somebody
viral, and
went
then he became
viral
a
in
model,
their mother's
right?
mouth.
Again, man or woman, if you are attractive, you are receive good things. It's very simple. It's very simple. Man or woman, if you are attractive, you receive good things. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, if Oksana was
Fuck
like,
Alan.
like if I got to Oksana, I don't mean that, you know, not every different strokes for different folks,
Careful,
like they
be
say.
careful, be careful.
I know, but I'm just saying, like, I could imagine, like, trying to go to bed, and then you were just talking and talking and talking, and I would be wanted. I'd be a wanted man the next day. Like, just saying.
I mean, to be fair, my house is pretty big, so I'm like upstairs in the attic. But my husband can't hear me. Like again.
Oh, you have a husband.
But, yes. I'm in the attic, but I'm upstairs. So I was only talking about. Right. My house is detached.
It went over your head. It's
I
fine.
don't know what you're talking about. No. If you don't want to sleep, go to bed, bitch. Go to bed. The fuck? Got nothing to do with me. The fuck?
Why aren't you giving him head right now? Why are you up here talking?
Because it's 3 in the fucking morning, you dumb fuck. I'm in the UK, you bitch.
Don't you know anything?
Stupid fucking whore. Dirty whore. You dirty whore. Why the fuck shut the fuck up? Because I have insomnia. I have all my life. Is that possible? What the hell?
Any man,
She was like insomnia.
any man, would you refuse a blowjob to drink?
Oh my God. And actually, why is funny? Why is funny is that he was sleeping, right, and then he woke up.
Every man wants
shut the fuck up.
to be woken up at 3 a.m. and
He already woke up. We had sex and he went back. You okay? It's none of your fucking business, bitch. It's none of your fucking business, you dirty fucking old man. You dirty perv. It's none of your fucking business.
What's
Very dirty fuck.
Why a blowjob?
Dirty fucking whore. Shut up.
Oh, jeez.
Shut up.
What's perverted
It's
about
none of your fucking business.
What
Bro.
is
When we don't do anything. Bro. You don't fucking know anything. You stupid ignoramus. Stupid ignoramus.
her husband by
Fucking
giving
whore. You fucking whore. Shut up. Shut up. Shut the fuck up.
Well, see, Alan's been married. He knows how to make marriages work. So he's just giving you pointers. You should follow the wisdom of your elders.
Bro. Good for him, right? Each different person is very different. Each person is different. So again, maybe his wife was eating Jack. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, every man wants.
Shut up. My man has work tomorrow. What the fuck do I wake him in the middle of the fucking night, you idiot?
Yeah, go downstairs, wake him up and say, I want to get
He has a...
I'm saying,
I'm awake.
thank you, Lord.
He has a flight 8 a.m. I'm not waking him up.
You know why? Because when the dick is in the woman's mouth, she can't talk. That's the best part. She's very just.
Yeah, I can't lie, you're weird, bro. You're weird. You're fucking weird. That's just fucking weird. Because again, why are you assuming to know about me and my husband's sex life? Like, you don't know what the fuck happened today, yesterday, whatever. Like, we don't fucking know shit. You're assuming to know anything. Just keep your shit to your fucking self.
I know men.
I think you're a fucking idiot. I think you're a fucking idiot.
Hey, there's nothing misogynistic about it.
Yes, it's crap. So a woman is speaking. What do you call
I'm a lot more misogynistic than him. He hasn't been that bad.
Yes, but Pepe, I already told you to fuck yourself, so it doesn't matter. You already know to go fuck yourself when you speak to me. You You already know, so it doesn't matter.
No, I don't know
This
anything.
is shut. No, not you. No one's fucking talking to you. It's to Pepe. Now I'm talking to you, right? Yeah. You need to your fucking ass in fucking line. Don't make put your.
Who, me?
No. Pepe. You already know where you stand.
Where do I stand?
Good boy. Good boy.
Oh.
He's a good boy.
Yeah,
Alan needs to know his fucking place.
Wow.
Yeah, no. Yeah, you need to know your place.
No, what's my
You're a woman. 99% of the men.
Nevertheless, their findings are relatively consistent. There's a subset of patients whose initial onset of an autoimmune disease.
Oh look, yeah, my bad. I'm sorry.
I'm not the same.
But they took out everything. Like what the fuck?
Like what, the sound effects? They're still there?
No, mine just says soundboard. Oh, that's for the sound.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, there. I like that one. Okay, anyways,
Mine doesn't work. My soundboard doesn't work.
Mine did.
That's my design Wednesday.
Probably. I think Amir got Road to Clubhouse. Amir Road to Clubhouse, I was using it too much.
That's funny.
Okay. You see how easy it is to shift the conversation, people, and then we're just laughing with each other? Isn't that better than arguing?
No,
God damn.
we can't shift the conversation when people are still dying. The conversation can be shifted, but it's still not going to stop what's happening in Gazans. The way the aid was given to them. I mean, that was savage-like, bro. Like, why are they shooting into the crowds?
Yeah, Nikki, did you read about how this Gazan Humanitarian Foundation, how they're operating?
I
the
did
things
not.
That they are. It's like a caged maze that they have, like the biometrics and all this for people to go get a box of food, and you have a red light and a green light, and red means move forward, green means green obviously means
Green normally
move forward,
means
and red
stop.
means
Red
not.
normally means stop.
Yeah, exactly.
But that's
So
like
so what they were doing.
May I ask something?
Let me just finish my thought real quick. What they were doing is they were turning on the green and quickly turning on the red and shooting the people as they're moving forward on that green. So once it turns red, boom, they shoot them.
And by which credible, and I say that with air quotes,
IDF soldiers.
source did you?
IDF
IDF is.
IDF soldiers have been leaking that this is what's happening.
Yep. And
A lot of the IDF are committing suicide.
And the American mercenaries, a couple of them came out, two of them came out as whistleblowers and saying how they're not just the IDF, but also the American mercenaries are shooting Palestinians for fun. That came out.
And who is checking the safety of the food which is being distributed by Americans and Israel to the Palestinian people in Gaza?
The safety of food? No. This foundation is private. It's a private Delaware corporation or foundation. It was rejected by Switzerland. It was supposed to be set up in Switzerland. Switzerland rejected it because it broke a humanitarian law, the way they were setting it up. And then the CEO and then the general manager or the COO both resigned before it was fully implemented because it was breaking international law. And then they've had other resignations after that. But it's a private, nobody knows who owns it exactly. And, somebody's getting paid off of this.
But I'm worried that maybe even the food which is being distributed to the Palestinian people, it could be contaminated in
it is. It's old, it's moldy, like the flour and everything it's old and it's been sitting in the sun.
They were putting drugs inside the...
Yeah, they're oxycodone.
Yeah, oxycodone inside the
flour, yeah.
The flour.
They have that on video.
And
Like,
sand,
opening
too.
up bags.
Let's not forget, they were mixing sand in the flour also.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell they're doing there. Like how, like are they taking the bags out and then somewhere they have a distribution center and putting 1 part sand and 3, to be able to.
They want them to starve to death.
I think they were doing that to save money. You know why? Because the Palestinians.
What is a answer? It's the easiest answer is the correct answer.
Yeah.
To make sure that there is no reproduction, because what we are saying is the cleansing. What we are saying is cleansing. What we are saying is it echoes what they said they should look for a place for people in Gaza to go. Now, if nobody is agreeing to take the people from Gaza to where they can go apart from Gaza, that's why they have an alternative way how to eliminate them.
Hold on a second. I have a question. Why do the neighboring countries have to clean up Israel's mess, right? So just think about it. Israel is the one that's committing the genocide. Israel is the one that's committing the apartheid and all this. So the Palestinians should go to all those other neighboring countries because they're Arab also, right?
And live like second-class citizens.
Wait, let me finish. So that just gives so we're just taking the responsibility of what Israel was doing to the Palestinians out. So that just gives the red light, the green light to any country that wants to do a genocide. No, guys, you just do that genocide. They could just go to the neighboring country. Does that make sense?
And don't forget about the proper, like everybody, in this, I think it's the Middle East in general, or maybe not, maybe global South in general. Like people, because there's enough land, people build their homes. People build their homes in general. They own their land. They build their homes. Usually not with a mortgage. Usually, you save up because it's cheap, and you're using cement or stone. So, let's say if the Palestinians in Gaza leave. Well, they just left behind their entire life savings in that land, which they invested in. Everything they invested in, and their fathers and grandfathers invested. Everything, and it's worth money. So basically, you're asking them to pick up a couple of bags and leave, and go and become second-class citizens in another country. On top of that, they didn't do anything. It's not like they went to some other nation and conquered it or tried to take it over. They were just sitting there living their lives. And that's really why, the world, especially the global South, is behind Palestinians, is because this has happened over and over again throughout Africa, Southeast Asia, India, Pakistan, you name it, it's happened. South and Central America, it's happened all over the place. And this is like the final last stand, like no more. Colonialism stops here. Period. It's done. And the world has taken a position.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Definitely. But would you tell a Colombian? Let's do a hypothetical. Well, because in Latin America, all these countries kind of share the same customs and the same language and whatever, right? Would you tell a Colombian, oh no, listen, you can't win, whatever. Go to the nearest country, so you won't get slaughtered. Even though, those people are killing you there. Go to another country because you share the same culture and stuff like that. No. So how come people keep on saying this to the Palestinians?
It's like the Western narrative, or it's racism. Saying a Colombian is the same as an Argentinian is the same as a Mexican. We wouldn't say that here in America because it would be like racism.
The argument is Palestinians, they're just like in Dubai and Saudi Arabia and this, they're all Arabs, right? They're all Arabs. So just go to the nearest country. Go to the nearest country. So you could do that argument with any country in South America because they share somewhat the same religion. Most people in South America is Catholic, Roman Catholic, have the same language, have the same customs. So you could do that argument also over there.
But yet they're very different countries, very different cultures. Brazil would be like Iran, because it's similar to Arabic, but it's not really Arabic. So it's similar to Spanish, but it's not really Spanish.
Right.
That's funny.
It's true.
Yeah.
But it just doesn't happen.
And Brazil is really, really big too, and Iran is also really huge.
Who saw left? Couldn't argue that, huh?
I know.
Sometimes I have smart ideas.
It's
Also, you know what I was thinking, right? I was thinking this. You know how they say, oh, well, people who support the blue state out of Israel, that we need Israel in the Middle East because for security purposes, right? And I'm thinking to myself, really? Because on October 7th, they didn't really do a really good job of their security. And they let Hamas be there for 7 hours as the IDF ran into the kibbutz. Didn't fight Hamas. They ran into the kibbutz, and then that's why they was doing so many firing.
Also, what security does Israel provide the United States in terms of the Middle East? Like the Middle Eastern countries, every other country, is its own autonomous nation. Israel doesn't get involved in them. If they did, they would, they'll get their ass whooped. I mean, they can't go up to Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, even Qatar. As small as Qatar is, it's massively powerful compared to, in terms of influence compared to Israel. So what security is Israel providing? That's such a farce because they're not doing anything actively to provide any type of security to the U.S. They're not.
They have a colonial project named Israel in the Middle East.
But it's not security.
The United States.
Well, Israel could have loyalty to the United States, but look at Israel's economy, about $600 billion. That's not going to, that's not what's going to the U.S. That's what they trade back and forth with each other and with the world, okay? $600 billion is not a lot in the grand, the U.S.'s economy is what? GDP is what? Between 10 and 15 trillion dollars, followed by China second. Multiple other nations after China. Israel isn't even, I don't think they're even in the top 10.
Oh, no, they're not even in the top 10.
No.
South Korea is actually in the top 10. It's considered a soft power.
Yeah, South Korea. I mean, a lot of the medical devices that are used in the hospitals, whatever, X-ray machines, MRIs, all that stuff, a lot of it is made in South Korea.
Yeah, that's Korean started. But I have a friend who's South Korean, and he said we may not invent anything, but he was what we do is we can take something that's invented and make it 10 times better.
Yeah, they have very strong, and I always go back to this, very strong and experienced manufacturing base. They know how to manufacture products. And when it comes to innovating a product that's already out there, they know how to do that in terms of, okay, we could innovate it, we could make the idea better, and then take that and say, okay, how do we change our manufacturing practices to create this new innovative, product? That's the hard part. Like, there are so many. You have no idea. There are so many innovations out there right now that it would be, it would be like a different world. Only
you know, like for example, here in the U.S., we were able to manufacture because just because you have the idea and the design, the blueprint, you know, the schematics, the AutoCAD drawings, everything you need to manufacture it, you have to also have the manufacturing experience and capacity to be able to design the manufacturing process to make that product. It's not like one step. You don't put it in a hole and it comes out on the other end as a finished good, you know? And there's so many innovations out there that do not get realized, and we don't see them because, you know, we can't design a way of manufacturing it. So having a product, you know, a design of a product is only half the battle. You got to actually make it, and it's tougher than what it seems.
I agree. Why didn't Gallup come up?
It was Japan after World War II. The U.S. when U.S. did have factories, you know, that technology was transferred over to Japan. And Japan was known for not being very innovative, but what they were known for is quality control. Like, Japanese products were considered, you know, superior because they were, you know, made better. They, you know, when it came off the assembly line, it was, you know, tested. It was, they had tight tolerances so that, you know, things that, you know, the parts that they used were quality parts. Like the cars, look at a Toyota, look at a Honda. You know, these cars last forever. They're no different than any other car except the manufacturing process. Japanese cars, yeah, they last a long time. They're not any different. I mean, they're still cars. They last a long time because in the manufacturing process, they've identified the weaknesses, they fixed them. Any like, for example, wires that they think, okay, in 10 years this wire is going to end up fraying, well, they just make it thicker. You know, that's what manufacturing design means, is going through and seeing how in real life that product is going to if it's going to hold up to real life, and then building your manufacturing around that. And that's what they did. So they don't have to invent anything new, they just have to make the same products better. And they built like a financial empire off of that.
You know, this is the worst summer ever.
Yeah, I mean, it feels that way.
I feel like
for me,
we're in a hot kitchen, and there's no relief.
Well, it's really one of the first. I don't know about the first time. I mean, not that old, but you know, it's where, you know, things that happen internationally and geopolitically, or even here politically in the U.S., actually are affecting the average person. ICE affects the average person. You know, what Israel is doing obviously affected, you know, if you count the families that lost people, millions of people, you know.
Well, even their carbon footprint in the air right now, I think I read an article, they compared their carbon footprint to Israel on its war on Hamas, and the bombing, just keep on relentless bombing of the Gaza Strip into the signs of Manhattan. They say their carbon footprint is compared to 100 countries.
Wow, yeah, I mean, 100,000 plus tons of bombs. 100,000 tons. You know, what is that? That's like over, it's like 40 or 50,000 cars.
You know, I wonder if they didn't have the United States backing them up, right? In a sense
This
of
Miller High Life
giving
is for
weapons to
you.
them. Would they be so really willing to just, oh look, We don't need to go into the Gaza Strip. We got all these, we got all these weapons. Boom, 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 boom. This is not their money.
No, because all those everything they dropped was billions upon billions upon billions of dollars worth. The tanks that they designed with America. Their air force was all American paid for. So no, if it was their money, they would have ran out and couldn't purchase anymore. Money is not unlimited.
Exactly, because America's like an open ATM to them. Because it's like, when I don't know, like, it's hard for me to spend my own money, but I can spend other people's money. And not really think about it.
I need to keep my wallet away from you.
Keep it away, Edward.
It's also, with the U.S. given, all these years, American military might, or, technology to Israel, they allowed America to showcase what American technology, military technology can do so that they can sell more weapons to other countries and point at, the success of Israel. But now, with how, a lot of the American, like the Merkava 5, which is the most advanced tank in the world, which America helped build, they barely have any of them left, so they're not even using them. They're using 3s and 4s now, and the 4s are even getting scarce. The American air defense systems are run, toward the heart. All this technology now. Go ahead.
Can I ask you a question, Edward? When Bibi Netanyahu came for, in a year, this is to be the third time, do you think when he had that meeting with Trump, he begged for money?
I don't think it was money. I'm assuming weapons came up. Weapons mean more than money to Israel. Yeah, weapons would have come up, but it was to end the war. I think Netanyahu wants to get out of Gaza because he's lost there, and that's a constant reminder of him losing, and he wants to be reelected again. So he wants to bring home the hostages. He wasn't able to do it before, through military action. So now he has to negotiate and bring back the hostages. This is why he's giving concessions now and is in a weak position. But I think, number one, Trump was pushing him to do so. But at the same time, I'm pretty sure Trump bribed him and said, "We'll give you X technology if you end the war in Gaza." Maybe even, okay, so Iran did this to you, so we'll give you this technology to help protect you against Iran in the future. There was an article that Ukrainian commanders are transferring their knowledge, and they're actually coming to the U.S. and U.S. commanders are going over to Ukraine on how to best deploy and defend against drone technologies, and what type of drone technology works well and what doesn't. Basically, drone doctrine. The U.S.
That's another thing about bringing. I don't condone Russia going in there and going at a sovereign country, but we've given them a lot of weapons, and from what I'm hearing, there's a lot of expensive weapons just in the dirt, not being.
Yeah, I said that. My dentist, dental assistants, they're Polish, and they have families in Ukraine. And one of them, her brother, went over to Ukraine to visit his family from Poland across the border, and he said there were fields and fields and fields of brand new weapons. brand new, high-end, like, grenade launchers and, other stuff. She mentioned a bunch of stuff. Brand new, never been used, just sitting there in the fields. Like, anybody could come and pick them up. That's how saturated Ukraine got. Now, keep in mind, too, when you said Russia invading Ukraine, Russia told Ukraine, do not join NATO, because they can't have NATO on, because if you join NATO, that means nuclear weapons could be moved into your country. And Russia said, no NATO, no nuclear weapons moved to our borders, period. Do not join NATO, and then they wouldn't have a problem. They started the process. Russia attacks, and then in 2022, okay, 3 years ago, when Russia was not really attacking too hard, and they're in, but they weren't, all the way in, they actually presented Ukraine with a peace agreement, and it was, don't join NATO. We'll pull out of everything. We'll only keep this side of, and I forgot what the city was on the border, which is all Russian anyways. And you won't have a problem with us. And Zelensky, he initialed all the pages. It was like a couple hundred pages worth. He initialed them, and you have to initial them first, and then, then go back and sign. And before he signed, America and Germany got to him and said, no, don't sign the peace agreement. We will give you weapons, and you can defeat Russia, and we'll give you money, and we'll give you weapons, we'll give you whatever you need.
Sounds like America, yeah.
That's not even a conspiracy theory. That's exactly what they did. And even Putin said it. With the Tucker Carlson interview, he said it. He said, we initialed everything, and then America and Germany came in and convinced Ukraine not to, and to go to war with us. That's exactly how it happened. And what's Zelensky? A Zionist Jew. So, you have to connect the dots.
You see this picture? Oh, wait. Anyway, it's, you guys are sleeping. She should do sleeping. Amir, you here?
I'm here.
Are you been quiet?
I'm listening, but Edward, I do kind of, I do see that Ukraine is the one that started this bullshit war, right? So I really support Ukraine, is what I'm saying?
Yeah, I didn't say I did either. It was Ukraine that wanted, or that NATO that wanted, or U.S. wanted Ukraine to join NATO, and Russia said, "Do not join NATO. We will not have a NATO country on our borders. All they had to do is stay out of NATO, and they would have been fine."
Now they have 2 NATO countries by the border, don't they?
I don't know, do they?
Finland and
but those are they're small countries, and they're worried about Russia invading them too, and so now they would have to worry about that. But these countries also, their military small. Ukraine is a pretty sizable military force.
You said that the reason why Russia went into Ukraine is because they didn't want NATO on their borders, which I could understand that. But now they have actually now 3 countries of NATO in their border: Switzerland, Finland, and now Ukraine, isn't it?
Yeah, they do. Let me see on GPT what the difference is. Because it comes down to nuclear weapons. The reason that they don't want them is because you could move nuclear weapons throughout the NATO countries. And that's what China doesn't want.
Well, I
let me
why
see.
America did it.
Hold on a sec. I can't hear you while I'm doing a GPT. I'm going to ask GPT about your question, and why these countries, and basically what you just asked. Hold on.
For that minority that participates in CNC, how is that wrong?
No. Again.
Months and months and months and years, and that's what's causing this overall public feeling that government is slow and doesn't do anything, and I think that's an indictment on and I mean sure Republicans as well, but primarily Democrats who have created.
And Russia had planted a puppet in their government system, right?
He's asking his girlfriend. I changed my ChatGPT's personality.
Oh, okay. Okay. So, the reason it's Finland and Sweden, not Switzerland.
Finland.
Sweden. Okay. So the reason they won't attack those two countries is because they had already joined NATO and during the war with Ukraine. Ukraine was not a part of NATO when they attacked, so the Mutual Defense Treaty would not have been invoked. So it wouldn't have been a war against all of NATO when attacking Ukraine. But if you attack Finland or Sweden, it would be a war against all of NATO. Now, what I'm thinking, could this been the plan all along? Is to get Finland and Sweden, because Ukraine is Eastern Europe. NATO is mostly Western Europe countries. Now, could this been the plan all along? Is to distract Russia, get them mired in a war with Ukraine, so that they could get Finland and Sweden into NATO. Which Finland and Sweden have money. Ukraine doesn't have money, and NATO is dependent on, really, it's a money pit for the military contractors. They sell weapons, right? So it's basically a group of countries that these military contractors could sell unlimited amount of weapons to. It's a whole big scam, in my opinion, and it's just so that's the reason why. But yeah, that's very, very interesting. That was an interesting question, actually, Wednesday.
So Ukraine is not part of NATO.
Ukraine is not in NATO and was not in NATO when Russia attacked it.
Okay, fair enough.
But the thing is, they snuck in Finland and Sweden way after the war.
Yeah, I guess because they were afraid of Russia.
No, I'm thinking, my opinion, that was because Finland and Sweden have a lot of money. They could spend money on military hardware, and they're Western nations. And I think Ukraine was used as a distraction to get Russia mired into a war, so that it doesn't have time to react to Finland or Sweden. Because if there was no war with Ukraine and Finland and Sweden were talking about signing an agreement, then I'm pretty sure Russia would have attacked Finland and Sweden before they were a part of NATO. But attacking Ukraine, Ukraine is an Eastern European country, and the Western Europe sees Eastern Europe as, you know, they're not equal. They don't see them as equal. You know, the G8, they, you know, don't see them equal. Western, you know, when we talk about the West, the Eastern Europe is not included. And the West doesn't include Eastern Europe.
Listen, I don't like Zelensky. I'm very aware that he's a Zionist, but we also have Muslim brothers and sisters in Ukraine.
Yeah, no, we do. No, I mean, it was, you know, I think, I don't know, like, my opinion is that Ukraine, because why would Ukraine, if you think about it,
I can make the same argument for Israel. We have Muslim brothers and sisters inside Israel as well.
but why would Ukraine do it? Why would Ukraine antagonize Russia, knowing that Russia will attack, and Russia has warned it multiple times,
Well, I think
we will attack.
it's being used by the United States because, if you really think about it, right, the three biggest enemies that the United States has is Russia, China, and Iran. That's what the United States do. That's the three biggest enemies. Now, if you can use Ukraine to at least dismantle even 30% of the Russian army, that's good for the United States, who just has to worry about China when it comes to Taiwan.
Yeah.
And I think that's what the United States did. They used Ukraine to, even if it was just 30% of the Russian army that it helped bring down. That's good for the United States, so they can put most of their resources and if anything goes down between China and Taiwan, they won't have to worry about Russia too much. I think it was just a strategy being used.
Sorry, I was asking GPT a follow-up question about Finland and Sweden. Was Ukraine used?
Telling me that Zelensky initiated the peace treaty, and the United States and Germany was like, no, we'll give you funding to keep on fighting this war, right? Then it just seems like they just wanted Ukraine to keep on having a war with Russia.
Well, if you look at, I just asked GPT, Finland and Sweden are both heavily, no, first of all, they've been neutral since, I don't know, the 1950s, neutral countries, but they are...
In World War II.
Yeah, so they are both, though, very wealthy. I just confirmed this with GPT. They have, you know, developed like indigenous military technologies. They are integrated with Western military companies. They are, you know, they're basically, you know, wealthy Western countries that are heavily entrenched in the military-industrial complex of the Western world. So they would be perfect candidates for NATO. And strategically, in that area, the Nordic area, with Finland and Sweden, I think that makes up all of that area as NATO. And Ukraine is poor, lacks infrastructure, lacks massive corruption, and we knew this from back, you know, Joe Biden days. You know, massive corruption. They're not integrated with anything with the West, and they've always served as a buffer between Russia and NATO, and Western Europe, I should say. Western Europe saw Ukraine as a buffer between Western Europe and Russia, and would have wanted Ukraine to stay as a buffer, a neutral buffer, not a part of NATO. signs point to the fact that Ukraine was sacrificed to allow Finland and Sweden, who can afford Western, especially American, military hardware, while Ukraine cannot afford it.
Yeah, that too, and also it was sacrificed to at least take down a little bit of the Russian army.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Just worry about China and Taiwan.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think Russia would have gotten in. Russia and the U.S. would not get into a direct war. Just like China and the U.S. would not get into a direct war. They're both nuclear powers and both have all the capabilities.
If it's a indirect war, it's still Russian. You know what I mean? Helping China.
Mm-hmm.
So if Ukraine was able to at least dismantle, let's just say 30% of their army, that's better for the United States.
True, and I don't think the U.S. saw this coming. Is that really China has bypassed both Russia and the U.S. when it comes to production of weaponry, manufacturing of weapons, which makes sense obviously because they do manufacturing, right? So it would make sense that they could manufacture a lot more weapons, much quicker. Instead of just hundreds of missiles a year, they could produce thousands upon thousands of missiles a year without any issue. And I think this is why, Russia wasn't able to deliver all the equipment that Iran needed, and Iran then, and China saw an opportunity and was able to sell billions of dollars worth of air defense systems that integrate. And that's the thing, the Russian technology wasn't able to be networked into the indigenous Iranian defense systems. They were separate. The Chinese technology was built to be networked into other systems. So while China sold multiple air defense systems to Iran, these defense systems, networked, can also use all of Iran's other radars and missile platforms. So it's all integrated into one unit. So selling a few upgrades their entire air defense system, which is interesting. I learned this the other day. And this AB technology that China has, I don't think the U.S. has this yet, where you could have a missile fired like half, across, the other side of Iran for a target, on, let's say, on the eastern side of Iran, a target that's on the western side of Iran. The air defense system doesn't need to see or be in range of that target. It could use other radar installations, okay, and then fire the missile, and then have the missile take orders from, let's say, a drone or a set of drones, to guide its path to the target. So, and then if that drone gets destroyed, it just picks up a signal from the other drone that's in the area. And so the air defense, or even the J-10s that they're looking to buy, the fighter jets, same thing. You could fire a missile. You don't have to be anywhere near the target, near the other, fighter jets, like the F-35s or F-16s, whatever. As long as there's, a drone or radar or something near it, that missile would then disconnect from the airplane, from the fighter jet that fired it, and connect to that radar system that's closest, that could tell it what's going on in the sky, and then help it aim towards that target. Which sounds simple, but nobody's done it before, and it's proven to be very effective.
Be right back.
Was that a threat?
No,
I know, I'm joking.
You said something about hypersonic missiles and
Spear is like, they're all fucking grifters. Didn't you have like, what do you call it? Like the women, you have like these female dating strategists that kind of like are the opposite. Well, they are like the red pill version of women, and they talk about how like, this is how I've been on dates with guys that have net worth of over $100 million, and this is what I do. This is my screening criteria, and it's just like, yeah, right, bitch. And any woman that like actually wanted, this is the ironic part, is that any woman that wanted to marry like a quote unquote high value man with, you know, makes over a certain amount of money, they are not good. The last person they're gonna date is a social media influencer who's like trying to teach women how to be gold diggers. Like that would be the biggest single red fucking flag you could have.
Sam,
like these women are full of shit.
I know you don't realize this, right?
Russiagate, Tulsi. That's true.
I'm sorry. Bro, why
All right.
you doing that? Look, Eric, you see what
I want the political people to come up. I'm not talking about dating anymore. I was, you know, Professor Oksana. Before that, I was trying to like dropping hints like let's change the topic, because I wanted to like switch it to something else.
I want to know if you've always been that way.
What is it called? Obamagate, or is it? What would I call it?
The next one's fine. Or is that something that happened after you delved into whatever you went into? Because I'm thinking that you kind of like, you're going down the path of becoming a reprobate, where like you go from
Russiagate. I'll just call it Obama's Russiagate.
Click.
I don't learn anything there.
Hey Danny, good Shabbos. Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom. Riboinai shaloi Elohim, Riboinai shaloi.
So we had the nigger in chief, Obama.
I'm listening.
I saw the art, you know,
I'm
the
listening to Pepe.
intelligence reports where he originally got back, where it was saying that he, Russia, they did not see that there was any real
Let me turn this
collusion or
down.
interference.
Let me turn Pepe down. Yeah. It was 11 Bravo. Yeah.
Someone claimed you have stolen valor, John.
Yeah, I know, I've heard that before.
You know I died on that hill? I did.
Did you? Oh, did you see that video of you talking about dying on a hill?
No, but you've talked to me about it. You told me it was so good, and I don't even know if I was crazy or trolling or what I was
No,
doing.
you weren't. It wasn't you talking about it. It was some guy you were talking to you and telling you about how
Oh,
people.
really?
Huh?
How long were you not commissioned?
No, I commissioned, but I was in from 2002 to 2007.
Oh, good. Okay. Wow.
But I was nasty guard, and I didn't deploy.
Oh, okay. Oh, interesting.
Yeah. I have an interesting background and an interesting future. How's your present moment right now?
I heard that they got hacked for like a year. Someone was just like hacking them. Maybe.
National Guard?
Yeah, that's what I read this week.
Oh, yeah.
Fredericks, are you Jewish?
No.
Do
I
you,
grew
want,
up around a lot of Jews.
do you want to hear about the internal conflict of Jews?
I mean, are you Jewish?
My father's Jewish, my mother's gorgeous. I'm a cashew. I'm an in-betweener.
Okay, let's hear it.
I'm judged by...
Between you, alright. Between you, okay,
I
let's hear
am
it.
judged by both inclinations, judged by them, not ruled by them. The in-betweener listens to the claims of both inclinations and judges between them. When a physical desire arises, the left side of your heart is aroused to pursue it. This is the voice of the inclination towards selfishness. Bring that passion into the right side of your heart, where your intellect responds with the voice of inclination toward selflessness. Most often, the two inclinations are in conflict. So lift the matter to God, who will strengthen the goodness of the right, as our sages teach. Without God's help, the evil inclination could not be overcome.
You're reading this off of some website.
No. The Yetzer Hatov and the Yetzer Hara, the inclination...
Am I allowed to hear this? Is this the Tanya? Is this for men only?
Yeah, this is Tanya. For self-good and inclination.
No, but I don't
for
know. Is
selfish
this
evil.
a men only book? Like, am I allowed to hear it? Are you ruining my Judaism?
No, you can hear this. This is like great Torah wisdom. The Alter Rebbe...
Why do you think my cat did this to my face?
The Alter Rebbe deliberately misreads the text to argue that the Benoni in-betweener judges between competing passions rather than is judged by them. Since everyone has both good and evil inclinations, there is no sense in being judged by them, but only by how you handle them. The in-betweener lifts the competition to God. This is what is meant by the teaching. I set before you life and death, blessing and curse. Therefore choose life that you may live. Deuteronomy. If the word therefore is a command from God telling us which to choose, then there is in fact no choice at all. Choose life should not be read as a command, but rather as a consequence. Torah and Tanya are saying that if you clearly see that the right side speaks for life and the left side speaks for death, you will naturally choose life. The real choice is not between life and death, but between seeing and not seeing.
Wow. Wow.
All right, do you want to know how to become an in-betweener? Do you think you sin, Frederick?
Of course, everybody else.
Sin strengthens your sense of...
I was bored of sin.
Sin strengthens your sense of alienation from the whole and excuses exploitation of the other. Isaiah 59. Nefesh, Ruach, Neshama. Body, heart, and mind. Nefesh, Ruach, Neshama. Body, heart, and mind.
Well, I actually go on my way not trying not to sin, you know? It's hard not to.
Your sins stand between you and God. Book of Isaiah 59. Sin arises from selfishness. Do you think you're selfish?
I can be, yes. But I try to fight against it, bro.
Selfishness arises from a sense of fear and scarcity. Fear and scarcity arise from the egoic shell of self-isolation, Kelipat Noga. And this egoic shell arises from Sitra Achra, the other side of God, the side that sees only the many and denies the one and the very possibility of unity. Because sin can be traced back to Sitra Achra, which is primarily a state of mind, your best defense against sin is the awakened intellect, Seichel, intuitive wisdom, Chakma, rational understanding, Bina, and integrative knowledge, Da'at. One way to awaken the intellect is to remind yourself whenever selfish passions arise that they can only lead away from God, when in fact
Yes.
your deepest longing is for union with God. With this
Yes.
in mind, your thoughts will be directed toward God. Your words will be words of Torah, and your deeds will
What's
be
going on
acts
with
of
Nora's room?
godliness.
Good question. I think John's trying to convert.
February 5th, 4:21 a.m. Gotta get the cup. Gotta get the cup.
John, this is the calmest I've ever heard you speak.
What does that mean? What is? And then they were talking about in the other room, Earth coincidence office.
Man, dude, don't read too much into it. Forget about it.
I don't know. Well,
No,
Frederick,
this has nothing to do with Nora. This is something totally different.
Frederick, I sound calm because I'm reading from a book. What was the last book you read, Frederick?
I just went through Psalms.
Danny, do you want to hear your horoscope, Danny?
Am I gonna die, John?
What's your zodiac sign, Danny?
I'm a Libra. I have the same birthday as Lenny Bruce and Sasha Baron Cohen.
Okay, this is what it says. The scales. Cardinal error, you're a ruler and you exalt. Green is your color. You're late September, late October. So what's your birthday?
October 13th. It's also the day of the miracle of Fatima, which was I think in 1917. In Miracle, I guess it's a place in Portugal or Brazil. I get confused. They speak the same language.
Yes.
And something happened to the sun. It's called the miracle of the sun.
Can you like Google it? A little more. So it happened on October 13th. So what exactly?
I think 1917.
Let me look it up. Yeah, look it up. I'm curious about this fact though.
Miracle of the sun is called
That's great.
October 13th, 1917.
Such a powerful day.
Okay, listen to this. This is your zodiac. These are two quotes related to your.
It was in Portugal. It was in Cova de Iria in Fatima, Portugal.
Okay, well, what exactly was the miracle? What?
The sun did something that wasn't normal.
Wow.
It went in a spiral, and it said there's a prophecy made by 3 shepherd children.
Now you got me all curious. Ass. Are you a miracle worker?
No,
Okay, gotcha.
I need a miracle if you know someone.
What kind of miracle do you need?
I don't know.
Well, straight
All right, Danny. I'm gonna teach you the power of Ifa. This is your zodiac.
Let's hear this, John. This is the conversation.
If you ever talk to an African American on this app and you share the story and the power of Ifa, like they will love it because this deals with the Yoruba. Yoruba.
Yoruba.
Everybody has the island Yoruba.
Okay, listen to this.
No, it's like a religion.
It says.
Yoruba people.
It says, here's a quote from a booklet by.
John, you're way out of here, bro. This Yoruba stuff.
This is by a priest of the indigenous African divination system known as Ifa. His words are well worth your study. Awo, the secret and invisible forces of which the diviner speaks, can also be called occult powers. Within the discipline of Ifa, there's a body of wisdom called Awo, which attempts to preserve the rituals that create direct communication with forces of nature. Awo is a Yoruba word that is usually translated to mean secret. Awo refers to the hidden principles that explain the mystery of creation and evolution. Awo is the esoteric understanding of the dynamics and form within nature. These invisible forces are not considered secret because they are devious. They are secret because they remain elusive, awesome in power to transform, and not readily apparent. As such, they can only be grasped through direct interaction and participation. Anything which can be known by the intellect alone ceases to be Awo. That's called Obatala, Ifa, and the Spirit of the Chief of the White Cloth by Awo, Falukun, Fatumbi. And then
Enjoy your own spiritual.
Then it says, try to paint your world as though you are the first person looking at it. That's Georgia O'Keeffe of Scorpio. And then this is Stephen Levine. To let go of the last moment and open to the next is to die consciously, moment to moment. What'd you think, Annie? Pretty powerful magic.
Wait, was that a horoscope? It didn't sound like one.
Yeah, it's from a book called High School Astrology. I was reading like the page on your horoscope.
It was like purple prose.
Purple prose. Okay, we'll do one final meditation. This is the Tao Te Ching. So take the deepest breath of the day.
My cat is such a bitch right now. I need to cut your nails. I know you cut my face.
All
You
the
called me the most
world
beautiful thing
says that
in
my
the
Tao
world.
is great.
Yeah, you still being a little bitch.
But seems queer, like nothing on earth. But it is just because my Tao is great
My lovely and frank.
that it is like nothing on earth. If it were like anything on earth, how small it would have been from the very beginning. I have 3 treasures, which I hold fast and watch over closely. The first is mercy. The second is frugality. The third is not daring to be first in the world. Because I am merciful, therefore I can be brave. Because I am frugal, therefore I can be generous. Because I dare not be first, therefore I can be the chief of all vessels. If a man wants to be brave without first being merciful, generous without first being frugal, a leader without first wishing to follow, he is only courting death. Mercy alone can help you win a war. Mercy alone can help you to defend your state. For heaven will come to the rescue of the merciful and protect him with its mercy.
Because no one can stand me. Ave Maria. You guys are my favorite,
Namaste.
What is your club called that you're starting? I joined it in Israel, even though I'm 98% Jew. Could I join your patrilineal?
Yeah, you can join the book club. I mean, I don't know what to tell you, but it's called a book club. Some people like to read books as opposed to just like jibber jabber and just talk nonstop aimlessly all the time. But like use a script or a program to talk to get smarter. Because when you read that stuff, you're like, wow, the low bandwidth, communication exchange, information exchange here is just like for people with Down syndrome.
Do you think I have Down syndrome?
Yeah, you've got the IQ of a Down syndrome person at an assisted living facility.
What do you blame for that?
Brain rot, obviously.
Fiona, where you been? Where you been all night? Fiona said I have some cognitive bias disorder.
Do you guys bring me?
Yeah.
Y'all have a great day.
Why? I like John.
Nobody knows you on that block, bro. You don't put in no pain for your block.
Muhammad Ali, there's noted the story is not found in any Islamic sources that are classical. It appears more of a folk tale or a dawa anecdote used to teach a moral lesson about patience, forgiveness, and kindness, and that its authenticity is weak or fabricated.
Actually, the tablet is in the Quran. So if you look at Tabati Dabidahabin Watab, it's an actual surah, which means it's a chapter of the Quran, and it says, "In the name of Allah, the most compassionate, the most merciful." Condemned are the clans of Abu Lahab, which is the father, which only used to be an uncle of the Prophet, and he is condemned. His wealth did not avail him, nor did what he required. He will enter blazing fire, and his wife, the firewood carrier, around her neck is the robe of thorns. So you can actually look up this ayah. This is not something that I'm making up. You can actually look up this. This is a chapter of the Quran. In the name of Allah, the
Okay, this is called Reading Books for Danny and the Jews Book Club Shabbos.
They have to be meticulous when it comes to let's reveal our cards and receipts at the appropriate timing, and let's make sure we have like steadfast, locked, verifiable, you can't squash the shit, you can't spin the shit, actual facts, right? So what did Trump say last week? He's like, oh, why is everyone, worried about Epstein? He's like, it's all a hoax. Obama and the Democrats, they twisted and they like adjusted the information for that. And people kind of blew that off. That was last week. So what do we have this week? We have now Tulsi Gabbard out and saying, truth be told, Obama and his White House administration totally altered and weaponized the intel groups for the betterment of what they wanted to subvert and displace the President of the United States. It's kind of like you gotta give the intel team time to be able to acquire, process, then strategically gather and then strategically release the information to ensure that there will be actual actionable follow through, which we all know Trump's big thirsty as fuck for, right? So, but what did Trump say? He's like, oh, it's a hoax. They mess with the data and the information. You don't know, da 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 da. And like they're struggling. What did Bongino and Patel say weeks ago? Oh, the deep state is working hard against us. They're trying to cover it up. They're trying to da 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 da, right? So in my opinion, I feel like that's the exact same thing. I feel like this is kind of a precursor. It's like an appetizer from the White House administration saying, we tried to tell you all, like we're working on some shit. We're trying to get all our receipts in order. They try to really change up the intel for their own convenience. And we have to unfuck that to make sure we get to the fucking truth. And we're not going to sit there and release it all until we can say, this happened, but this is false. This is where it started from, and this is the actual fucking truth. And they can't get to that point and being underneath a microscope of everyone saying, show the list, show the Epstein list, show the Epstein list. It's going to be hard to do that. I think that's why like Trump was kind of dispelling like, oh, why are you guys interested in that? Trying to get like the heat away from the actual intel team to not scare away the people, to the potential whistleblowers. All this information came out from a whistleblower with Tulsi Gabbard's recent report today. From a whistleblower.
You don't think that? But I mean, I don't know the details, but I'm just telling you it's my intuition, which could be 100% wrong. It does seem like today this drop from Tulsi Gabbard is extremely convenient, and I have to. If Democrats did it, I would do the same thing. I do think it's very fucking convenient, and
absolutely, but it's also taking in, like, I don't know, I just have a PR brain, understanding, like, why are they dropping things at a certain time? What did they say precursor to that? What are their actions after that? Like, that's just how my brain, that's how I operate, right? So I literally, in my business brain, go back to what they said 2 weeks ago, knowing the whole back history of it, and why there was a couple of items that I just mentioned earlier, like what Trump said. I'm like, why would he say that? That's kind of odd. That's not the structural narrative that he's been sharing before. This is new. So whenever Trump goes out of his like repetitive statements, Russia, Clinton, Hillary is a bitch, when he goes out and adds in something new, I always pay attention to that. So it's like, yeah, it could be a distracting factor, but it also could be like kind of a flag for the Republicans. Like, hey, if this was the shit we revealed when it came to Russia, can you imagine the shit that we're trying to unpack and catch the receipts for when it comes to the actual Epstein case? Because Trump literally kind of teased that last week. He said, he's like, oh, Obama, I'll pull up his post. He literally said, he's like, Obama and they changed the intel reports when it came to actual Epstein files, and I don't know what it's like, almost like he's trying to push it away. And people took it to one thing, but I always look at it as like the timing of everything. It could be, some could perceive it like you said that day, like, oh, they're trying to cover up, like, okay, but what if Bonnie say, like, yes, it's now been passed on to the courts. She's filed it on the courts for the Epstein files to be released. So it's like, okay, maybe some things needed to happen first to get a lot of people fucking scared for them to spill the beans, for them to come forward and say, ah, shit, I gotta save my ass. I gotta come true in front. And if you look at historically, when people bookmark posts and bookmark tweets and X posts or whatever, and they come back, a lot of Trump's posts, they always come back to become true in fruition, right? He can't sit there and say, as POTUS, I think this. That's the reason why he just rattles off random shit all the time, which we all love. We think is fucking funny. But I look at it in a different capacity, like, all right, that's new. What's that about? Right? And just kind of, tuck it away. But there's too many little things that I feel like Trump is kind of breadcrumbing us to realize there is going to be kind of a bigger reveal to the detriment, in my opinion, of like global affairs. But yeah, I think it's coming. And I put in the chat all the names of the people that were in the secret classified meeting from when they gave Obama the actual intel brief on the 16th, saying Russia did not have any adherence to the elections. We did not find any of their actions to be adversarial, to have any type of impact on the elections. Then they had the meeting. And then within the exact same day, they completely changed from what the Presidential Daily Brief, the PBD, shared was completely different from what they put out, right? And in the receipts that Tulsi Gabbard shared, she said, per President Obama, this is what should go forward. It's kind of like, all right, we're going to exaggerate. We're going to be fucking dramatic about it. We're going to like cause doubt and chaos. And if you think about it, isn't that honestly what the Democratic Party is about? Doubt and chaos. Doubt and chaos. Oh, look what they're doing, terrible, X, Y, and Z. Like, but really, what's really happening, right? They're petulant children, drama queens that have lost their way and they don't know how to come back to daddy. That's really what the problem is.
Daddy Trump?
I mean, I would say that
daddy and Perry.
I would say everything you're saying perhaps could be true. I mean, part of the problem is that like people like to connect the dots and come up with conclusions, which, you know, a lot of detectives like to do this, but then detectives have to, they end up understanding that their trail is wrong and they have to go another route and they keep on having to go another route until they get it right. Perhaps this is all true. I just, there's no way I can confirm or deny this, and that's why I'm like, kind of, I agree with you largely. Like, I do think that both the Democrats and the Republicans have a machine where you have media, you have the donor class, you have influencers, and of course the politicians that kind of, they all coalesce and I don't know, push their agendas. I don't really, which I mean, obviously, back in 2020, I would say it was very strong against Trump. I'm very strongly on the side of Joe Biden. With that being said, I don't know. I feel like we can look at what happened with what was released today. Even though it's like seeing how they were briefed about how there was not like wide scale, I guess you could say, interference into our elections. What is the whole fucking picture? I mean, those little snippets are not gonna, they don't tell me everything. Is there perhaps intel that she's leaving out? I don't fucking know. This is why I hate having conversations regarding shit that involves classified information or intelligence. It's something we do not have access to. I don't know the full fucking story. I'm just being patient. I'm just sitting back and waiting.
But at least there's alternate information that people can consume and understand what there is. And it would be one thing if it was conjecture, but it's not. I literally spent this afternoon looking at all the detailed receipts, the dates, the time, what was said, and I'm like, damn, this is like, it's all panning out. Most of the time they don't pan out. I mean, just doing basic stupid girl research, like they don't pan out, but every one of them.
No, I mean, I think, trust me, I do think that the Democrats were extremely dirty. They lied about a lot of shit.
They're dirty as fuck.
They played very unfairly. I'm not trying to run cover for them whatsoever. But I am like I say somewhat pragmatic in the sense that you have somebody like Donald Trump who is I know this may offend a lot of you, but like a sleazy person a good chunk of his life, not his whole life, and he was also a Democrat most of his life. I don't really, I don't know, I don't really see him above the Democrats and playing the same fucking games.
So I in the chat a copy to the actual White House official statement in regards to Russiagate, and you can see it. It's very contradictory to the actual intel information that was released today. That is the official White House statement.
by the way, I think you underestimate, Pepe, how big this is. I mean, it's essentially Obama has been referred for prosecution to the DOJ. Well, not saying that anything will come from it, but just the fact that they're actually moving forward with that, like it's a formal inquiry, and that includes everybody else that was involved. So this isn't just like, it'd be like if this was reversed, like if it said Trump is being referred for prosecution. You know how big of a story that would be right now?
But Merrick Garland was, and Democrats are really fucking pissed off that he was not prosecuted. The fact that he was even allowed to run for president pissed them the fuck off. I do think, at least in 2024, I do think that, look, the Democrats, I think they definitely went on a witch hunt for Donald Trump. Those charges on, they had some popcorn fart of a fucking case in New York where what would have normally only been misdemeanors, where he got charged with 134 or convicted of 134 felony counts. I mean, it was fucking insane how they went after him. And one of the things that I personally wished for was that when the Republicans came into power, that they would, and I'm not going to lie, they would, in a way, witch hunt them back and put them in prison. They would, you basically put, and it may seem like kind of third worldist to like wish that politically I'd want, once right wingers or left wingers come into power, they gulag the opposing group. But the Democrats have been doing this for what is it going on almost 10 years? Yeah, I mean you have to. Something has to be done where you can't have this corrupt bullshit happening anymore. And these political witch hunts where they end up trying to literally jail the opposing party.
There are many things we've never done.
We didn't see this before Trump.
Upon the world.
And I'm going to be fair. I don't think Trump started it.
Until our little raids buzz through their kingdoms long enough to become a nuisance, then they swat us down, humiliate us.
But I can see that's the thing, right? I think why is it okay? Why is it not okay for the Democrats to do something? But then when the right or the Republicans do it, then it's okay because the left did it. Wouldn't the right thing be? It's not okay when either side does it, and let's just try to move on. I agree with you actually today.
That is, but I think that here's the really weird thing, and what I've always found fascinating between especially tankies and fascists, which they only exist in the online world, but both of them believe in the absolute not only suppression of speech and freedoms and rights of the opposing group, but just fucking murdering them. What do you do? I'm somebody who thinks that if you were not having
execute the man who killed my father.
The red wave that was spreading mainly from Eastern Europe.
No one wanted to follow him.
You would not have fascism. I think fascism is actually a very ideal response to. If you're a wartime government and you need to literally get by, I support Ukraine over Russia, for example, they would have what you consider very fascistic system. Freedom of speech is any opposing views in jail. When it comes to their manufacturing, the jobs, the industry there in Ukraine in general, it's going to be centered around the war. It's a state-steered economy. Now they've had to become very regimented. They've had to do everything that's fascist to fight, what is, I don't consider Russia communist. I consider Putin just a corrupt piece of shit, but
and here I stand.
It's in a way fascism is like a wartime. It's a wartime government. I think that's the only time it's like a quote unquote ideal. It's what you would have to work with, while you're at war. Now, this is not me advocating for fascism or Hitler. But to be fair, the other side, they were every bit as they violated everybody's rights if they disagreed with them as well. And they did purges, they did all kinds of like horrible shit. And so like, I mean, I think tankies might even be a lot worse than fascists. I don't know. But I'll end.
So, just to add, or answer Barrow's question, is the Democrats did have their chance to square this all up straight when Jim Comey had a chance to prosecute Hillary Clinton during the election for what she did. And he chose not to do anything about it because it was during the election. I mean, that's what he said. So there was a chance there to get things straight, So, they went forward, and I think people thought they could, take liberties. I think Trump is feeling like, okay, since they let that slip out, slip by, now maybe Trump can do whatever he wants in that sense. So it's Jim Comey had a great chance at that point to actually do something. You know what I mean?
Well, Burl, do you think that like Democrats in the United States? I know you're more socialist, if I recall correctly, somewhat of a socialist, but I mean, I do think that at the end of the day, both Republicans and Democrats, if you're a socialist, at least in America, neither side is what you would want. And I'm actually somebody who's a Republican, but unlike the Republicans, I'm more like centrist when it comes to fiscally centrist, I guess you can say. I was somebody who was like really taken aback and angry about Trump's. When the big beautiful bill ended up passing, they ended up saying that you'd have to jump through all of these fucking hoops in order to remain on Medicaid and get SNAP benefits, whatever the fuck. And the two big holdouts were like it was Senator Tillis, I believe, North Carolina, and Senator Murkowski from Alaska. Somebody who's lived in like rural areas of America. It's like it's so different there. Just going and getting it, like finding a fucking job, even a place to fucking volunteer, making them jump through all of these fucking hoops. It's life is a lot rougher in certain areas of the country than others. And I can't help but think that like he was in a way like shitting on his voter base. A huge swath of his voter base. But then, like, when it came to the wealthy people, they're just going to make more money. They're going to get taxed less. I thought it was bullshit. But that being said, like, as much as I think, like, Trump, he's not somebody I find, to be ideal. Do you think that the Democrats are really like that great here in America?
No, I guess if you're asking me, no, I don't think the Democrats are that great. I think, like, for the Epstein thing, I think Biden would be just as guilty of covering up whatever the hell's going on. That's why I think it's, like, really weird. I think, like, let's just keep calling it out. It doesn't matter which side it is. But no, I'm not a Democrat. I often, like, people often think so, but I'm Canadian. So to me, like, both sides can be crap, right? I can call both sides out.
Okay, I get it.
I'd just like to see what everyone's thinking. Fuck Canada.
Canada hasn't done anything to us.
So it looks
so stupid. Go ahead, Holly.
Looked like
it looks like Thomas Massey is really pushing this Epstein thing, right? And it seems like, I don't know, it looks like what Bondi tweeted yesterday kind of seems like she's making some effort maybe to get at least the court transcripts fully released. Do I have that right?
I doubt it. No, I think she's just even the language is like all pertinent information from the grand jury testimony. It's like, first of all, they get grand jury testimonies to be released that are sealed is like it's likely not going to fucking happen. And then it's what is quote unquote pertinent information? I mean, I guess he gets to decide that. I mean, it's just like the motherfucker said he was going to release all of the goddamn files, which I understand. Even as president, you don't have that fucking power. But as president, when the people who voted for you ask for that fucking information, the last thing you do is insult them, as he has.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Is this the beginning of the end of MAGA, as we know it? That's what it feels like to me.
I mean, I was never a MAGA person. I think the other MAGA people here know that. I vote